Hello, everybody. Hello. I am Trooper SJP, and this is the Academic Foxhole. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? What's new? How are you? How are you all? It's nice to see you. Hey, everybody. Atomica, Levi, Krellin. Ooh, wait. What is this video? Wait, I want to see it. Copy link location, and then let me put this on the YouTube. Let me see what we got.
Tonight at 11.
Doom!
Carlin, you got me. You got me. That was really good. That made me happy. Atomic is looking forward to a very boring 3 days off. Right, Krellin, it's really good, right? Like that's, thank you. Krellin, thank you for that. You have made my day. You have made my day. Oh, hey, did I show you? Oh, I don't think I've shown you my goat, have I? Given to me by one of my students, as a present. Did I show you my goat? Here, I want to make sure you can hear it. See, this is my goat. Here. Wait, one more time. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was, thank you. Krellin, that is also what's happening in my mind. In my mind, I'm just hearing the goat version of the Taylor Swift song, which I love more than anything. Wait. I knew you were trouble when you walked in. Shame on me if I know something places I've never been. And now I'm lying on the cold hard ground. Trouble. Sorry, that's just really good, and I don't know how I can handle. Like I'm just, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the Doom song, that's really good. Hey Iffy, hello. Oh, you know, stupid copyright strikes. I have feelings. I have all those feelings. So how are you all? How's it been? It's been really weird. It's been really weird. You know? I mean, what I mean to say is, I'm used to streaming video games. Thursdays and Saturdays. And I'm missing 2 Saturdays in a row because of a good society over on Roll For It. So I'm only streaming video games once a week. And I kind of miss it, you know? To be more specific, I miss hanging out with you all. Because I love my RPGs. And I always read all of your comments afterwards, but it's not the same. And so I just kind of miss you all. But I love Good Society. It's so good. Are those feelings summed up by the copyright law is dumb and broken? Yes, that also. Yeah. It's just that, and most of the time it's fine being in all the other shows if I still have my 2 video game streams, but I don't. Here's the thing though, I need to tell you all. I'm going to miss... I'm gonna miss 4 Thursday streams in a row because I'll be doing a Good Society RPG over on Table Story, and starting not next Thursday, but the Thursday after, I believe. Or something like that. An hour video games a week is simply more than a half hour a week. That's true. Let me see. Let me pull. Oh, hey. Oh, you can't see anything anyway. It's fine. What day is it? This is the 30th. So not next week, but the week after, starting May 14th, I'll be doing 4, possibly 5, but probably only 4 sessions of A Good Society over on A Table Story. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I think I am. Anyway, don't tell anybody if I'm not allowed to say it. So I'm going to miss my streams, my Thursday streams, for 4 Thursdays in a row, which is tragic. But I don't know. Maybe I can do something about it. Yeah, I love Good Society. I think it's really fun. So I'm excited for it. And I think y'all will love my character because we did our character creation already. And I think you'll love my character. This one looks to be juicy. I don't know if I'm going to get myself a dowager. I will tell you this, though. There are different playsets for A Good Society, and I don't know what playsets everyone else has done, but the playset we're doing is Scandals and Rumor, and so everybody is a little bit scandalous. Everybody's a little scandalous in this particular playset, and I'm not going to tell you who the cast is because I think that's going to be for official announcements, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Atomica has 0 plans for the next 82 hours. For your schedule, I'm just looking forward to next Christmas when you play my Christmas present. Well, I mean, you know, that's all. Oh, Krellin. Oh, Krellin. I will certainly make it gay. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Surprise. Oh, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. I'm really excited. Anyhow, and we're going to finish up our Good Society Captain's Table this Saturday when they're on a boat, and it's going to be very dramatic and interesting. And I'm quite excited to see what happens with them all. I think if you play Good Society and don't make it gay, you're doing it wrong, and your fun is wrong. I could see you not... Look, I could see you not making it gay, and I'm sure you could be having fun, and it wouldn't be wrong. It's just that you will love my character. Krellin, you will love my character. I'm so excited for my character. That's all. That is all I'm going to say. Just, that's it. What else? Yeah, so I'm gonna miss 4 Thursdays for some Good Society, but I think it's acceptable. And who knows? Maybe I'll stream after Good Society, like a little, you know. Because here's the thing: if Critical Role is not happening, you look like Hercule Poirot last time. Hey, Ice Bunny. Yeah, you know, I just changed my facial hair up a little bit, and so you know, I try to make sure I've got my excitement. And I'll be wearing my outfit, but with my blue vest. Speaking of which, if we actually have 2 full weeks, I wonder if I could get a different jacket. I need to go look at my place because I might be able to get. Oh. I wonder how quickly things could be mailed to me. Also, I have a bit of a problem with the mail. What day is it? Today's Thursday. I have a bit of a problem with the mail because I cannot... My post office is shut down, and the only time they're not actually open at all, and the only time they're kind of open is like right in the morning between like 9 and 9:30. Monday through Friday. They might be open a little bit before 9. And what's tricky about that is that I am often not awake at 9 in the morning because I'm often going to bed at in the morning. So I need to work it out so that I can actually go to my post office box. And I really need to go tomorrow. But I also am teaching at 9 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow's going to be a big day for me because I've got final presentations for my seminar tomorrow morning. And then I've got the series premiere of Aether's Walkway, which is a cipher game GM'd by Alice, White Rabbit. which is really awesome. That's at 1. And then of course the solo version, the solo episode of City of Light and Shadows tomorrow at 7. So it's gonna be like, tomorrow's a really big day, and I need to go to the post office is what I need to do. I don't know how that's gonna happen. That's all I'm gonna say. Ordering costume things is fun. It is. 9 AM is the dark of night. It's true. Oh, I also go to bed at in the morning. Yeah, I mean, Barantor, also good to see you. Sometimes you just go to bed at in the morning, you know, that's all. Why did you mumble when you said responsible time trooper? I don't know. First off, by the way, I love you all. I just want you to know it. Krellin says, my landlord is unsatisfied with her local water laws, so she said I wasn't watering the lawn enough. Thus, she has come up and set up sprinklers on timers to violate our watering laws. What should I do about it? That's weird. Krellin, that's so strange. That's so weird. Could you do like an anonymous tip? I don't know. That's really weird. That's so strange. What's up with your landlord? Weird. Ice Bunny, tell us something scary. Yeah, I think that Tomika is correct. CYA, Krellin. CYA, because you don't want, you know. Yeah. So, by the way, I'm having lemonade, and that's in my Pizza Hut glass, because that's a little delicious for me today. Some people are overly obsessed with grass in places where it's easy to grow. Yeah, it's very weird. I don't understand people sometimes. Her problem is she's a boomer and thinks lawns should have grass despite the fact that... Yeah, I was thinking, Krellin, don't you live in a desert? You should maybe not have a lawn. Well, I mean, you could have a lawn, but like, you could like a really cool... You know what you could have? I know, I love the goat scream. Like, this is how I feel about your landlord, right? I feel like you could have one of those really cool rock garden front lawns with like really cool rocks. You know, wouldn't that be cool and also not bad for the environment? The Danish police arrested an alleged terrorist who planned some shit. Ice Bunny, I'm gonna tell you, I am just not scared by those things. I'm just not scared by terrorism at all. There are reasons for that, but terrorism just doesn't scare me. Just doesn't scare me at all. Krellin says, I had a lawn that was full of a bunch of desert weeds. It had pretty flowers and stuff and were green and pretty despite... Oh, Krellin, that sounds really gorgeous. Yeah, do that. Like, have a lawn full of desert weeds. But you know how weird people are about lawns. I don't know what's wrong with them. She just had her son-in-law whacked down. Really? Who is your landlord? Who is your... She had her son-in-law whack down all those plants? What is wrong with your landlord? I don't approve of her. I'm intrigued by the specific lack of fear. Yeah, I just... Oh. So, the lack of fear I have about terrorism, I think, is linked to a couple of things. One, I'm old enough that the threat that I had to worry about was global thermal nuclear war destroying the entire planet. So in light of that, some terrorism, it's just, it doesn't, you know, just doesn't seem like that big of a deal compared to, yeah, also, Krellin, that is one of them. Also, I think I have enough of a global, lesser of two existential threats, yes. Also have a bit more of a global context, right? In that the United States just doesn't have that many terrorist attacks, and a lot of, like, there's just not that many of them. They don't happen that often. It's not at all like it was during the Troubles when there was like bombings going off in the London Tube and in Northern Ireland all the time and people were dying constantly. The name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F. on and will appear. And then I say bo at a bee, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foe. And then I say the name again with an F, very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. But if the first two letters are ever the same, I drop them both and say the name like Bob. Bob, drop the B's, Bo, Ob, or Fred. Fred, drop the F's, fo, red, or Mary. Mary, drop the M's, mo, airy. That's the only rule that is contrary. Be right, be right, be right, bo, e right, banana, fana, fo, fee right, fee, fi, mo, me right. Be right. Woo-oh, be right. Ah, the name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, on M will appear. And then I say bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foe. And then I say the name again with an F, very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. And Octavie, hold on a second. Give me 1 second right there. Hold on. No, I'm not gonna enter. Give me, wait, where was I? There. And Octavie, bo, ban Octavie, banana, fana, fo, fan Octavie, fee, fa, mo, man Octavie. And Octavie. Levi, bo, bevi, banana, fana, fo, fiva, fee, fa, mo, me, vi. Levi. Now I feel like Kermit the Frog here. Ooh, Hype Train. Hey, everybody. First of all, I got a clip. I'm very excited for that. Thank you so much for the resubs, all of y'all. Be Right says, hello, Be Right, back again. Sorry, old joke. Old Ultimate Humor too. Hey, you know what? I take the old joke and I love it. I take it. I experience it. If he says true, global context is not as volatile for that kind of thing. True. And then Carlin says 3,000 people died on 9/11. America shuts everything down. 3,000 people died from COVID yesterday. Let us out. Yeah, and I was thinking about 9/11 actually. That was something I thought about quite a lot. Crispy and naive. First of all, I love the titles for the clips. They make me very happy. I guess I was too young when it happened, or it ended in my memory fog. I just got me a bit off guard that there are other things than Corona. It's fair. It does. No, Levi, it's fine. I'm totally fine with that. It makes me happy, but I just want to get them all in there. So I think also, I remember right after 9/11 happened, I was at the bank and, ooh, wait, I'm going to tell you about the bank later though. After. Also, I have to write down this. I'm going to write down Historical Emporium because I wonder if I can actually get a really good Regency jacket before that show starts, because I would really like a good Regency jacket. Also, no rest for the favorites here. Pushing the hype train. Push that hype train. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And Octavia says, I've gotten into very into polar exploration history, a whole history of the era. Oh, yeah, polar. I have a thing to tell you. But I'll tell you in a second. It's about I have to tell you a thing in a second. Mountains of Madness. Don't let me forget. I'm gonna sing right now because of Be Right. I'm going to sing "We're in the Money," as sung by Ginger Rogers from the film Gold Diggers of 1933, and that means I'm gonna sing it in Pig Latin. Airway and hey, the anime. Airway and hey, the anime. Iway at gale at way at wait wakes to utet gale ang way. Airway and hey, the anime. The ice skates are on, he sang. Oh man, did he ash and pray, ooh yari, ooh three, what's the unway on rail? Ewe every eat red lands lay, red brands lay today. And when we see the end, Lord will uplet the eye get in the eye. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Do you know how much joy that gives me? I just don't think you know how much joy that gives me. It gives me so much joy. I sort of can't handle it, you know? That's all I'm saying. Sorry, my brother's cat barked. Ooh, I'm so sorry. Ugh. I missed which singing, but all I missed was singing, which I could still hear. Oh, good. I started Japanese lessons on Duolingo. Oh, good. Congratulations. Oh yeah. Polar ice caps. My GM. You know, I talked at some point in time. Here, I'm gonna post this for you. Here you go. So I don't know if you. Remember I talked about how there was that GM who. The Call of Cthulhu GM who kept me in gaming when it was like kind of gross and terrible. Remember I told you about her before. She wrote the famous module Beyond the Mountains of Madness. And she has one of the longest, and there's an interview with her. And that's an interview with her if you wanted to know what she did. And this is like an Antarctic, the whole campaign is this Antarctic campaign and source book. So if you're ever interested in some really good Antarctic stuff, you could try finding Beyond the Mountains of Madness. The problem with Mountains of Madness is that it was for the longest time really hard to get. It was like really, really, really hard to get for a long time because it was very rare, and if you'd like get it on eBay for like a gazillion dollars, because there was like all sorts of really cool stuff. Like they had like exploration patches, but they have they do have a PDF of it. It looks like, I don't know, and including also the game aids. So they do have. You can get a bunch of stuff now from them, which is great. At least you can get the PDF of it. I don't know if it's ever been updated though. I bet it hasn't. Yes. So anyway, it's really brilliant, and I was a gamer before Janice Hill, but if it wasn't for her, I don't know I would have stayed a gamer. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I would have stayed a gamer if it weren't for her. Yeah. So if you want some good Antarctica stuff, that's the way to go. Oh, hey, we get an emote. Hype train emote. Atomica, we'll be waiting for you. People get different emotes. Oh, that's cool. Oh, so there were other, look, there's so many things. Yeah, I remember what it was. It was right after 9/11, and people were sort of going on about it, and 3,000 people died, and it was all of this, and that's terrible. But I was talking to this woman at the bank, and she was from Eritrea, and she said that same week that 9/11 happened, 10,000 women and children were rounded up and set on fire and burned alive in Eritrea by, I think the Ethiopian army. And, it wasn't even in the U.S. news. And so I'm always very keenly aware of the ways in which the U.S. does not care as much about some people's lives versus other people's lives. And Flint, Michigan still doesn't have clean water. And, we don't really seem to care about that so much. Yeah, and if he says, yeah, news is oddly curated. Yeah, right? And so I think that's one of those things as well that I always feel like, I don't know, I have very conflicted feelings because I don't think people shouldn't die, but I also know that we don't care about everybody equally. That's all. Roald Amundsen was a very interesting person. He was the first to sail the Northwest Passage, first to fly, reach the North Pole, Verifiably, 2 Americans most likely lied. Oh. And first to reach the South Pole on foot, but he died when he went searching for his rival when he went missing in the South Pole. So he died searching for a man he despised. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, you know, so like, I don't know. I just have these sort of complicated feelings about hysteria is what I'm going to say. Sort of like, you know, I don't want people murdered. And but I also, yeah, I just don't think, I don't know. I've just been in situations where it's been very dangerous. And so I don't know. I don't think I'm prone to fear. And not like, like I can be afraid of things. It's not like I can't be afraid of things. I certainly can be. But you know, when everyone gets afraid of things, they're like, oh no. Like, you don't want people murdered? How dare you infringe my rights to a righteous death? Fair. That's fair. But okay. So, you know, when people are like, oh my gosh, somebody could hijack this plane, and they get all, and they're like really freaked out about like the plane being hijacked. I just am like, well, if somebody hijacks a plane, they hijack the plane. There's nothing I can do about it. I just can't, like, I'm not going to go and spend all of my time being freaked out by somebody hijacking a plane, which is probably not going to happen. If it does happen, then it happens. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm very much in that space. And that probably has something to do with me being in the Army as well. And I was in some kind of, you know, places. I was in some places that were a little intense. And you're just like, well, it's like people in Cali with earthquakes. There are people who have active fear about it, but most didn't grow up here. Yeah, Effie, actually, this is another very philosophical thing that I think is also true about me. Krellin says, that's a healthy way to think about it. Is this random worry something I can do something about? No? Okay, discard worry. Yes. Hey, that thing you like. Hey, hi. But also, I think, Iffy, I really do believe that growing up in California also is one of those things that impacts the way I think about impending doom. I mean, I grew up in California, and we still haven't had the big one yet. Like, I grew up waiting for the big one, and the San Andreas Fault has still not released that tension, so there's gonna be a big one. And I don't know, when you just grow up knowing that at any given time there's gonna be a big one, and you really just can't do anything about it, I mean, what are you gonna do? Do you know what I mean? Like, you just have to live your life. You can't spend all of your time thinking about earthquakes, because then you just would not be able to function. So you just sort of just low-key know that at any point in time the big one can happen, and that's it. You just move on. That's it, you know? Because what else are you going to do? Photo of Roald Amundsen is very badass. Oh, put it in Discord. B. Wright says, I think each country's press is very parochial and can seem strangely navel-gazing from outside. There's a quoted USP newspaper headline from the, I think, 20s to 30s, Fog in the Channel, continent isolated. That's amazing. Although it just felt to me like European news was a little bit more international than US news, which is a little unfair. It's a little unfair to the US in that the United States is an entire continent wide. And Europe, like, if we overlaid the United States onto Europe, do you see what I'm saying? I mean, when I lived in Germany, like, Italy was right over there, Austria was right, like, I was in Bavaria, so I could get to many different countries within a half hour, and that is not the case in the US. So, like, I feel like sometimes we can be a little unfair to the US and not think about its scale, but nonetheless. Yellowstone is going to blow any century now. I better worry about it my entire life in case it does happen to stop it. Yeah, right? Like, what are you gonna, you know what I mean? Like, what, yeah. That's it. What are you gonna do? I didn't realize it was an earthquake when we had one in Copenhagen. Oh, thank you, Anarchdovey. Well, basically, everyone needs to care about the U.S., while the U.S. has to care about very few other places. That is true. European news are very sterile. Yeah, if he says a lot of countries in a small area. Yeah. I just, by the way, I haven't played the Outer Worlds in a million years. I've got to find out what's going on. Also, people have an unrealistic expectation of what an earthquake might do. That's true. That's because they've only seen movies. The radio and TV stations near me aren't competing with several other countries' stations for my eyeballs. Oh, that's true, actually. And it's really interesting because when I think about this, when I was in Germany during the Olympics, it was always fascinating because you could pick up Austrian Olympic coverage as well as German Olympic coverage. And so you could get different countries' Olympic coverage. And so they were competing as well. There's a crack in the waters between Denmark and Sweden that burps once every 30 years. Interesting. For the most part, it's the disruption of resources and the long recovery after the fact. Yeah. I mean, and like I lived through the Loma Prieta, and that was a huge earthquake that like was really bad and killed a lot of people and did a lot of destruction. But it also lasted 52 seconds. Now, I will note, 52 seconds is really long for an earthquake. It's like 57 seconds, maybe. It was like, in the 50s. And that's like most earthquakes are like, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. But, like that's it. Like it's, yeah. Can you understand Austrian German? Well, I grew up, like my time in Germany was in Bavaria, which is not that far from Austria. So I'm not that bad with Austrian German. Like it's closer, like Plattdeutsch or like way, way northern dialects, or I would have a hard time with because I'm from southern Germany. And when I say I'm from, I mean, that's where I spent my time. I'm from the United States, but you know what I mean. Northwich was pretty bad. Yeah. The Northwich was pretty bad too. That was a bad one. Yeah. Ooh. So yeah, no, Austrian German is not too bad. Unless if they're really, really rural, it might be difficult, but generally speaking, it's not that bad. B. Wright says, the sports coverage is another example of how inward-looking broadcasting can be. It's an education looking at other countries' coverage, if all you've seen before. Yeah, one of the best things that ever happened to me was also one of the worst, complicated, mixed bag, was joining the military and then being able to go overseas was amazing because you get to see all these things about how life is different in other countries in ways that you wouldn't expect, right? In the sense that you expect big things to be different in other countries. Do you know what I mean? Like there are certain things you expect. Oh, like over there, they would speak another language. But there are all these little things that are different between countries that that are not things you expect, that you just sort of take for granted. Like my German friends insist that there are 5 continents, and I was taught that there were 7. And you think that continents are like a big thing that everyone would agree on, but apparently no. And so you're like, oh, that blew my mind a little bit. That thing you like says, so today I learned that there are a lot of dialects in Germany, like Chinese, where it's hard to understand the different dialects. Oh, that thing, totally. Like Germans probably don't start singing a song every time someone says over there. That's one. Drinking culture being different. You know what's interesting? That thing. There was a movie that came out when I lived in Germany, so in the 90s, called Bedienung, which is sort of waitstaff, and they did this thing where it's like a documentary where they interviewed different waitstaff in different parts of Germany all on the same day. So this like whole team of documentarians all went out all across Germany and they interviewed somebody who was waitstaff, and then they put this documentary together where you had people from all over the country just talking about what it's like to be waitstaff. And I remember watching it, and I remember that the woman who was waitstaff in the Black Forest had subtitles. She was subtitled in German, because if you were not from that area of Germany, you would have no idea what she was saying at all. And so like it was so fascinating to me to see a film that was subtitled in a German film, subtitled in German, because I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in English in the US. Sorry, let me be specific, in the US. Maybe one individual person has like very slurred speech or something, but I don't really recall it being standard that anytime we have a thing set in New York City that all the New York City people have their dialogue subtitled into English. You know what I mean? Whereas in Germany and a lot of other countries that are older, they just have dialects are different, you know? Anarctivity says, like when Ebola was a big thing on the news, and when I saw American news coverage, they were making it something bigger than it really was. Yeah, I mean, yeah. From what I understand, all the fun stuff is from South Germany. Well, I was in South Germany, and I thought it was super fun, so you know. I was talking to someone before, and they said they had a Swabian dialect. Oh, yeah. I have a Swabian. I speak in a Swabian dialect, that thing you like. And my dialect is specifically Bavarian Swabian, because so Germany, if those of you who don't know, Germany is a country that has states, like we have states, and then those states have sub-states. So like there are states which we might call, county is not really correct actually. You might say, yeah, so each state has its own states, because many of those states had been their own countries, so they're states within the states. And there is a larger German state of Swabia, which is where Stuttgart is. But in the German state of Bavaria, there is a Bavarian state of Swabia. So Bavaria has a Swabia, and then there's also a Swabia in Germany. And Augsburg, the place that I lived in, is the capital of Swabia in Bavaria. So I speak a Bavarian Swabian dialect, is what I speak. The US regularly subtitles British people. Yes, we subtitle British people, but I don't recall regular subtitles for Americans in American films, which I think is interesting. But like, again, England is also one of these super old countries where people didn't move. And so you've got, like, when I was in England, I went to Liverpool, and there were some people there I just could not understand what they were saying at all. Like, at all. They said words, and I had no idea what they were saying, and I was so embarrassed. It was really hard. They just said these things to me, and I was like, and it's so weird when somebody's speaking English to you, and you are a native English speaker, and you do not know what they're saying at all. In any way. Like, it was just like, I don't know what's happening. And it was funny because I remember I was in this bar. English pretty standardized in the media here. Yeah. If someone has a slight accent, they can get subtitles. I think one of the things is that that the U.S. is a very mobile country. Like, we don't have people who've stayed in only one place for 1,000 years in the way that you do in the UK or in Germany. So like, our dialects are just not as localized. For example, right? So Cook says, I've only seen that in the US with thick Southern accents, especially New Orleans, but I'm not pulling it. Yeah. That's like that's the most I can hear that I can think of as well. Ice Bunny says, we have to be happy that only picked up Bavarian and not Saxon German, because that's the worst German. B Wright says, we could use subtitles sometimes in the UK. Some very broad Scottish accents, except, for example, heavy Glasgow, with someone speaking quickly can be difficult for me to understand. Yeah. Have I seen the Augsburger Puppenkiste? I have. That thing you like says, the only German I know is Ich habe eine großen Kartoffel. I have a very large potato. American actors clean up accents. We do. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Liverpudlians are so hard to understand. I'm from Liverpool and I don't understand them. Oh, so let me tell you, England does have a ton of accents that are really, really intense. I think these people in the US all learn mid-Atlantic dialect. Yeah. I think it's Midwestern. Yeah, we're also super young culturally. We also move around a lot. So it's like, so here's the thing. I want to say two things. This is so exciting to me. So one, I'll get back to Liverpool, but Augsburg, which is the city I lived in for 5 years, is the capital of Swabia in Bavaria. And this is it. And there's a river that runs through it, the Lech, which is like, they're also, the Wertach is another river, but the big river is the Lech that runs through Augsburg. And Augsburg is over 2,000 years old. It's one of the oldest cities in Germany. It was like 2,000 years old. It's like probably like 2050 now, like a little bit over that, right? Something like that. 90. So like 240. It's like probably like 2040, 2050 years old. And what's really interesting is that the Lech, the river that ran through Augsburg, was a language border. And so if you lived on one side of the Lech in the city of Augsburg, you had more of a Bavarian accent. If you lived on the other side of the Lech in Augsburg, you had more of a Swabian accent. This is not the case anymore because it's 2020 and people move. But if you would like talk to old great grandmas and great grandpas, you could tell what side of the city they were born and raised in by their dialect. In the same way that like in London, you could tell like East Enders, the East End folks, the Cockney, they're people who lived within earshot of one particular church, and they all had a dialect, so you could tell exactly what neighborhood somebody lived in by their dialect. And that is not something we really have in the United States, where we could be like, oh yeah, you're from this by your dialect I know you're from this neighborhood in this city, because we are just way too mobile for that. So that's the thing. But I think it's really fascinating that Europe, which are so much older, right? They do have these dialects that are, I mean, and to be honest, to be really fair, my Bavarian friends would tell me they weren't really dialects, they were separate languages at one point in time, and they're kind of then sort of smushed into one language, but they were like full-on separate languages. I don't know, they existed in the 90s. You only need to move a few burrs away, and the way people speak just changes. Not much, but noticeably enough, yeah. Atomica says, I knew exactly what I wanted, bakery chocolate chip cookies. They didn't have them, and getting brand cookies wouldn't help when I wanted baked goods, so I got super indecisive. I hate when I get indecisive. It took me way too long to settle on Eclairs and Lemon Squares. I'm going to title a really dangerous encounter Eclairs and Lemon Squares just because it rhymes. Eclairs and Lemon Squares. So Eclairs and Lemon Squares would be an encounter, I think, for an espionage game, or also Good Society. So I think it's interesting to think about, like, especially like Glaswegian. They spoke like Scottish Gaelic, right? Like there's a lot of that in there. Same thing with Welsh. So like some of these things were kind of just different languages-ish, like different versions of Germanic languages. Yeah, like Texas and Boston are still English. Like they're not different languages. Whereas there's some questions about like deep Bavarian and also like Plattdeutsch or something, like when there's some questions. So I think my kobold chef is going to have to bake to save some lives. Yeah. Boston. So that thing you like, hey, Origami Shuriken, we're talking about dialects and how they can be so different. And I was in Liverpool. This was so amazing. I walked into, you can start to see some dialecting in Southern American, but it's still mostly intelligible. Yeah. I went into this pub in Liverpool. Welcome in. And I walked up to the waitress and I said, hi, could I get a Coke? And she says to me, Pepsi. And I was like, oh, I have no idea what she just said, but I heard the word Pepsi. So I assume what she's saying is that they don't have Coke, but they have Pepsi. I assume that's what she said. She said words I did not understand. I couldn't really hear what she was saying. It was very muddled. And I said, okay, yeah, a Coke is fine. A Pepsi is fine. Even though I don't really like Pepsi, it's fine. I was like, yeah, Pepsi's fine. And then she says to me, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me? And she says, and I was like, oh. It is really loud in here. It's so loud in this pub. I'm so sorry. Could you just say that again a little bit louder? And she's like, yeah, and I was like, oh, it's just so loud. I'm sorry. And then she says, would you like ice with that loaf? I was like, ice, yes, I would like ice with that, thank you. But like, yeah, would you like ice with that, love, right? And like that, because the Liverpudlians will often make the K sound, so instead of like, it's like lach. And I just was like, oh, it just took me a while to get what was going on. I was like, I have no idea what is happening right now in this conversation. And it's just really weird to be speaking the same language with someone and really have no idea what they're saying at all. It's very disorienting. Atomica says, I think the main thing killing dialects is TV, radio, internet, since everyone's hearing. Yeah, Atomica, that's really true. There's a whole discussion about how these sort of extreme dialects are dying out, that fewer and fewer people are speaking with a heavy Bavarian, et cetera, because we're all, like, basically since the 1950s, 60s, our dialects are becoming less extreme because we're all hearing similar language. And I thought that was interesting. Origami's like, I got it the second time you said it, right? But I was like, I was like, I don't know what's going on. I have relatives that are married to Bavarian natives, and I think I speak okay German, but for him, I wanted subtitles every time he said something, right? That thing you like said, not gonna lie, I could tell what you were saying when you didn't slow it down. But you're like you're a Liverpudlian, right? You're a Scouser, like, you know. I was like, I have no idea what's happening. I don't know. It was like, I don't know what's happening. B. Wright says, I worked for a U.S. multinational, and my network friends seemed amused when I was talking about the router. It helps when you know that in England, this is pronounced router. And solder is pronounced solder, not solder. Oh. There's another story. Yeah, I can imagine it takes some time to adjust. Yeah, I think that would probably get it if I spent a lot of time in Liverpool. I'm sure I'd like learn it, but you'd have to like learn it like you learn kind of another language. Origami says, my Minnesotan accent gets strong when I'm talking to a certain demographic at work. That's also really interesting because I think a lot of those accents are also class-based, in the sense that like that really strong Boston accent you think of as a working class accent. And like a lot of upper class people don't have that accent. I think it's interesting. Do I know what a Hazivurst is? It's some sort of sausage, but I don't know what kind of sausage. As a left field out of the blue thing, I could see the brain taking time to adjust to that for me. Oh yeah, but I can hear it now. And Arkdevi says, in Finnish, we have plenty of accents. I live in Lapland, and the Lappish Finnish differs in that it emphasizes H. We say that Lappish talking over H, puhuhun palata. Palta. Oh, interesting. I'm not Scouse. I live on the outskirts of Liverpool, and I don't have the accent. Oh, that's interesting. Oh. Well, I'm Scouse, but I'm not. Geographically, I am. Culturally, I'm far from it. So, and isn't that real interesting, too? Atomica says, I have it pointed out to me because I don't realize I do it, and sometimes people think I'm mocking people, but I pick up dialects and mimic them very quickly. I don't even realize I do it. It's a brain disorder thing, but I'm too lazy to Google it. No, people do pick up, some people pick up accents really quickly. And if he's like, yeah, it's totally class-based. Krellin says, does that mean the Boston Kennedys were exaggerating their accent for political purposes? Oh, Krellin, that's really interesting. The Boston Kennedys had a different accent. There was an upper class Bostonian accent that they had, and it's different from the working class Bostonian accent. It's called the Boston Brahmins. And it's actually a different accent completely than what working class Bostonians would use. And that particular accent that the Kennedys have, I don't think many upper class New Englanders have it anymore. I think it's mostly dead, but it was a specific accent. And what's interesting about that is in American Horror Story 2, Asylum, Jessica Lange is doing this Boston accent. Everyone's like, oh, your Boston accent's so bad, it's so terrible. That's not what Boston accents sound like. But she's actually doing the upper class Boston accent, not the working class Boston accent, but people are only used to hearing the working class Boston accent. She was kind of doing a more Kennedy-esque one. And so I think actually the critique was not fair. But yeah, that's all. Atomica says, when I worked in a kitchen full of Jamaicans for a summer, and when we got new guys, I didn't believe I wasn't from the island, even though I'm white. Then they'd hear me talk to my white boss, and I go back to my normal dialect and wouldn't even realize it. Oh, that's so interesting. I mean, people do it, you know, it is a thing that happens. Maybe it means that you just have a really sensitive ear. Ice Bunny says, that's Hessisch for Heissewurst. My mom's BFFs married someone from Hessen, and they were out, and she thought she gets a bunny sausage, and it was just a normal sausage. Just a normal sausage. Yeah. Oh, empathic mirroring. Yeah. See, right? Iffy. Right. Could be that. That thing you like says, yeah, my hometown has its own accent. That is a mix between Scouse and Lancashire. Oh, that's interesting. It died with Ted, huh? There might be a couple. Like, the thing is, they're old. Do you know what I mean? Like, all those people they're old. Like, we all know them basically from the 60s, which means they were, you know, 40s, right? Kind of pre-TV era. So I don't know how much it has really lasted. There might be a couple of people, but then again, to be honest, I do not hang out with really rich people. I do not hang out with the Boston Brahmins, so I don't know how many of them still have that accent, but I don't hear it much anymore. So that's interesting. Jer says, there's a study that shows people who slip into others' accents have more empathy. Oh, that's really interesting. Knowing that dialects are a class thing always helps to be patient with different ways of speaking, yeah. The best German is spoken in Hanover. No, Ice Bunny, that's the German of the invader. Hanover is not the best German. That's some big old Prussian German. That's the German of Bismarck and the invaders who invaded Bavaria, not the best German. That may be High German, but High German is just the German of the people who invaded all the other parts of Germany. Doesn't make it the best. That's like saying that the best German is Queen's English, but it's not. You know. That thing you like says, I sound monotonous and posh. The Bavarian in me would be like, no, Ice Bunny. If he says, I feel a lot of empathy to variation in speaking, knowing how my parents struggled to speak English. Yeah, I totally get that. Bobby Jr. doesn't have it because he's got a different speech impediment. It's why he always sounds like he's about to cry. Oh, that's interesting. Levi says, after a week in Germany, one of the Germans said they thought my accent sounded native and far better than the American teacher accompanying the exchange, and a bunch of other Germans agreed. He strove to speak in High German. Right? Yeah. My German accent's pretty good as well, but I also pick up accents well. Atomica says, right, Iffy. I've that with some of the older Portuguese guys I work with. I literally will drop into broken English when talking to them, even if I'm in full conversation with someone else. Oh, that's so interesting. Ice Bunny says, for learners, I think that depends. Like, I learned German in Bavaria, and so that's what I learned. You know what I mean? I don't, and in some ways it was a little bit easier because Bavarians swallow all their article endings, which makes it a little bit easier as well. I just think, I don't necessarily think that, like, the Queen's British is easier to learn than like Southern American dialect. It's just where you grow up learning it. That thing you like says, I've also realized I often accidentally add the Australian vowel sounds to how I speak. Australian vowel sounds are amazing. I suck at accents, but I pick up speech patterns easily. Oh, that's so interesting. That's so interesting, Krellin. I like that. Yeah, people do. If he points out that people with some means often get speech coaches early in life, it's true. It's true. You know, I just wanted to say, look, for real though, by the way, I'm just going to put the game on so that we know what's happening. You know, just so that we're not, I don't even know what's going on right now. Where are we? Okay, yeah. I feel like, so look, seriously, Australian vowels fascinate me. They are so complex. Like, I can't even do them. You know, if he's like, so we know what game we're not playing. Yeah, Jer's like every vowel is 4 syllables. Like the way that Australians, not all Australians, but like some Australians will say the word no. And it's got like 4 syllables in the no. It's like, it's this complicated thing that is like full of things, and it's not even a diphthong anymore. If it's like a triphthong or a quadthong, it's like there's so many there's so many thongs in the Australian no. I don't even know what to do with it. It's like, wow, and I love it. Like when I hear that thing's like, I love wearing thongs. That's why you must like Australia. And so like there's something, I just find it so fascinating. I love it. I love it. I think I missed a comment. So yeah, right? Yeah, it's like, it's so amazing. I love it. I love it. Working Latinos in SoCal have their own way of speaking Spanish, especially of older immigrants. Yeah, yes, if you're right. And I think that's like, there's that whole sort of Pachuco slang, which was like a Mexican-American specifically dialect, Calo it was called, and that was very specific to Mexican-Americans in a certain time. Like, so like, I just think how our language works differently is so interesting. Ice Bunny says, we Southern Danish, we mumble, have the words away, half the words away, and after a week in the South, I picked up the German-Danish mix. It happens. It happens. And Ark Duffy says, when people not Finnish persons try to say Finnish words, it kind of gets a chuckle out of me because they use pronunciation of their own language and it just doesn't work. Mainly because pronunciation is very important in Finnish because it can change the meaning of the word completely. Oh yeah, that's so interesting. And also if it's not a pronunciation you know, because I think that, I imagine you have a very, like, yeah, because you're Finno-Ugric. You're in the Finno-Ugric language family, which is not a Romance language, or like it's a totally different. It's like if you don't know it, it's hard to pronounce Gaelic or Welsh because you don't know how the words sound. Like, what's that B? Why does that B sound like a V right now? You don't know. Levi's like, so many thongs in Australia. Atomic says, just my 2 cents. My favorite accent is Vietnamese Australian, specifically Nuc Nguyen. Ooh, or when. Krellin says, it's a vowel full of sound and fury, signifying nothing but fun to hear. Yes. It's almost like the word noir. Yeah. Right? Like it's, yeah, I mean, it's, I could just listen to polished cryptid speak all the time. And it really is beautiful, says Iffy. That thing you like says, thongs in Australia are jandals. Oh, jandals. Oh. Iceman is like, oh wow, the IGF games from 2019. What, you're not playing it? Jandals in New Zealand are flip-flops. Oh. Ah. If he says, like how Cantonese has more intonations than Mandarin, but it's seen as lower class by Northern Establishment Chinese. Right, and I, growing up in San Francisco, am only familiar with Cantonese. Right? No idea what flip-flops are in England. Aren't they just called flip-flops? That thing you like, fanny packs in the UK. Oh, no, flip-flops are just flip-flops. They're just flip-flops. Right? They're just flip-flops. Yeah, San Francisco has a diaspora of Southern Chinese. Yeah, and so I just think that's really fat. Because, and then I was, some people call them thongs? Really? Huh. When I ran into somebody and it was the Chinese New Year, so I said Gong Hei Fa Choi, which is, what we'd say in San Francisco, and she looks at me and she goes, I only speak Mandarin, that's Cantonese. And I was like, I'm so sorry. She was super she was not polite about it. And I was like, oh, okay. Also, it's actually not that different, but, and she knew what I was saying, but she, anyway, and I wonder how Cantonese is doing as a language, because I know it's, because sometimes people how are dialects doing? Yeah, sometimes when someone tries to learn Finnish and haven't learned the pronunciation of Finnish, they might say something very unfortunate and embarrassing, and might say something that has double meaning in Finnish, which is probably hilarious. Yeah, we called flip-flops thongs up here in the Midwest when I was growing up. Oh, okay, out in California we called them flip-flops. That's interesting. Yeah. There's some intense feelings around who is the better Chinese. Yeah, I know, right, Iffy? Okay, I'm gonna talk to people. Hi, Miriam. This town is cute. I guess, if you've ever seen a town before. Don't forget, we're here to learn the Overseer song. I'll wait here diligently. In case someone useful passes by. Maybe a while. Did you see how I was playing the game? Hey, Kulan, we're talking about languages, and we're talking specifically about dialects and accents, and the ways in which it can be very difficult to understand people who speak the same language that you do, but have really thick accents. I know thongs is the butt floss underwear. Yeah. I don't want my butt to eat my underwear. I feel like that's not a controversial statement. Maybe it is a controversial statement. That's all. Although, I've seen some underwear in my life. Not in person, but if you go to Anyway, I've seen underwear, and I was like, that underwear does not look comfortable. And did you know, by the way, the Chinese dialects I know of are Mandarin, Cantonese, Shanghainese, Pekingese, and Fujianese. There's way more. There's so many dialects. UK is terrible. Yeah, the UK is super intense. I was talking about how I ran into people from Liverpool and I had no idea what they were saying. And a lot of interesting, I know thongs as the subject of that song by Cisco. Indeed. Lurk around, Atomica. Origami Shuriken says, I've not heard sandals called thongs much since the advent of the Cisco song. Fair. I think thongs, the undies, are about hiding the lines on close-fitting clothing. Yeah, I think that's true, Iffy. But what's interesting is that, I feel like you could maybe, I don't know, wear longer underwear. You could go the other direction, maybe. This slang can sound really... It's true. I've been told that thongs are comfortable, but yeah, they don't. They don't. Krellin says, it's almost like China is a giant melting pot empire or something. Indeed, Krellin, indeed. How do you show off your butt if it's covered? I think that's the point of the underwear. It's to show off your butt. Like high heels, sometimes I wonder how they work on them. But also it has its own fashion thing. You know, again, it's practice. People who wear high heels are people who practice wearing high heels. It takes work to do it. Finding the Orpheus songs is by far the worst part of saving the world stuff. I hate having to, like, talk to people. I don't mind it. Well, that's why we made it your job. Let's talk to this person. No, wait. Yeah. We're weird. Fashion is weird. I like fashion, but I also think fashion is strange. Also, I like my fashion to be comfortable. And I tend to... And again, like, I wear suits and I wear vintage clothing, but all the stuff I wear is comfortable. I don't wear things that pinch, you know? Beauty is pain! You, hey, you new around here? Welcome to Delphi. This town used to be great, but these people ain't seen something good in a long time. Their spirits are dying, you know? I want to fix that. I want to bring their spirits back. But I need a singer. Oh, it's Manny. Mm-hmm. I want to bring this town's spirit back. But I need a singer. Oh, maybe I sing? Holy cannoli! I knew it. That voice! It's exactly what I've been looking for. Do you think Manny's sketchy? I don't know. And Artebe says, shoes make me think of what does Centaur and Fanny Racers that have hooves and what their shoe fat. Well, I would imagine they probably wear horseshoes, right? Like maybe cool horseshoes? Like I could imagine like you put the horseshoes on, but maybe you could have like horseshoes that like have cool, like, okay, so you shoe the horseshoe in. My godfather used to shoe horses. And like I can imagine horseshoes that like have cool metal wings or something. I just feel like you could have some cool stuff going on there. That thing you like says, so in England, specifically anywhere that's Cockney, they have something called, oh yeah, rhyming slang is so cool. I'm not one to suppress culture, make fun of it, but rhyming slang is dumb because if you aren't from there, then communication doesn't work because it sounds like you're just stringing words together in the hopes of that it has face value meaning. But see, that's the point. The thing you like, they didn't want people from outside their neighborhood to understand it. That was the whole point, right? That like, watch My Little Pony, the new one. The princesses wear fancy horseshoes. Ooh, cool! Like boot covers. But like so, like the Polari, which was the secret gay language in England. Right, so like gay people in England had a language called Polari, which was like very intense slang, kind of like Cockney rhyming slang, and the whole point of it was so that people did not know what they were saying who did not need to know what they were saying, right? So they would have all sorts of like, they have all these like slang words so they could have conversations with each other about gay things and not be arrested because people didn't know what they were saying. You know, so like that's part of the point. The part of the point is that it's not supposed to be understood by outsiders. Levi says, I saw a video today about a farrier using the orientation that he shoed a horse in to make it not pigeon-toed any longer. Oh, that's interesting. That thing says, you know, I know, but half my family are from Cockney areas and I can't understand them. Stupid outsiders always trying to understand us. Yeah, you got to stop those outsiders from understanding you. You know how it is. Slang. You know that thing. My favorite British soap was EastEnders, and I watched it from when it first started, because they started airing it in the US on our public access channel. And I watched it for like, I don't know, 10 years maybe? I have not watched it in a really long time, so I've not seen it Yeah, my mom used to record it and send me the cassette tapes, but then she died, and so I've not watched EastEnders since then. Your voice, it will be perfect in the band I'm putting together. The name's Manny. Pleasure to meet you, Ace. Thing is, right now, you're the only other person in my band. Hey, so help me out. Find me a couple other musicians. We'll put on a show the likes of which this town ain't never seen before. Uh-huh. Thanks for the fun side quest there, buddy. We don't have time to fill every little request in this dump. Focus on finding the Queen of Wandersong, Lala. I can see it now, that perfect show. Our performers are out there waiting, Ace. Go find them. Well, I suppose we'll just find out what's in here. I have tried to learn rhyming slang, but they always say new shit and it's too much. That's why they do it, because if they keep it the same, then outsiders will learn it and then they won't know, then they'll know what's being said. My dad knows a lot, but lo and behold, he lived in London for what? Yeah. I mean, that's how it works. That's how it works. That's why people change up their slang, so that you don't know. Well, hey there, Skipper. Whoa there, you some kind of musician? The kids these days just love music. I've been looking for a way to reach them. Maybe you can help. Can you write a jingle for my candy shop? Heck yeah! That's the kind of spirit I'm talking about. Okay, I'll give you the go, and you sing it. Something short and sweet. Oh, ho, ho. Okay. I'm not an outsider in terms of the family, though. Yeah, but you don't live there, right? Like, these are these regional things. Yeah. I like this because it's kind of creepy. Sounds good. Yes, I love it too. Oh, sing, Take on Me. I don't live there, but they live here. I don't live there, but they live here. Yeah, I just think it's really complicated. It's like that's how like youth slang happens. Like youth slang is always this sort of always renewed way to keep out old people. Hopefully the kids agree. Hey now, Wanderer. I love candy, but I came because of the sick tune they have playing. Yeah, that's a sick tune. It's creepy, element. You wrote it, didn't you? I have something to show you. I know you know all about music, but how much do you know about dance? I want to teach you some moves. Wait, no. I want to unlock the moves that are already waiting inside you. 'Cause you got a dancing spirit, Wanderer. I'll just help you find it. Ooh. I got a new dance. Beautiful dance, Wanderer. But this is only the beginning of your journey into dance. I hope we'll meet again in a place where dance calls out to us. Do you want me to explain how to dance? Yeah. All right. I want you to close your eyes and picture something called a controller. All right? Do you see it? I do. On that controller, you got hold of something called the trigger L1 button to dance. Then, while you're dancing, use trigger L2 and trigger R2 to change your dance. You can sing at the same time, too. And some dances you can even do while moving around. Don't be afraid to express yourself, Wanderer. Uh-huh. 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 I see. We had to figure that one out. But they, stupid old people always hello following kids us. Also AAV, yes, iffy. That always gets co-opted into the common usage by not. Yeah, it does. I hope you suddenly have to use the one stick to control your voice and the other to dance. I think I might have to. The dancing stranger's costume is awesome. It really is. It looks like this person will go to Burning Man. Lala's a white dude. Did you see that dance? Probably yes. To be fair, AAVE was more of a class language. If you were in the street, you learn the language of the street. But of course, the problem was it depends, right, Jer? Because for the longest time, the streets were segregated. So if you were of the street but Italian, you weren't learning AAVE because you were not living in the same neighborhood with black people. You would have your own sort of like street slang. Or if you were of the street in Polish, you would learn your own street slang because, right? Because of segregation. I want his dancing person to be my next RPG character. Yes. African American Vernacular English. Yes, you might have read it Bonix as it was recently called before. Yep. Yeah, so AAVE, there's a lot of linguists talk about AAVE as its own dialect, sort of going back to sort of tracing some of the linguistic things that African Americans do back to Africa, actually. So specifically West Africa, sort of the Senegambia area. So like certain kinds of linguistic grammatical patterns that happen in African American vernacular English as being sort of going all the way back. So it's very interesting sort of thinking about this as basically there's a lot of move to sort of think of it as a legitimate dialect and not just bad English. Hey Jeb, I'm working on some lyrics for the jingle you made. Get your sweet on. Creole English is also something. Yes, it is anarchy. That's another thing that's not bad English. It's its own thing. Look, I love this tune because it's creeps. No, I got it. We'll leave it. Yeah, people are like, oh, because like people are really weird. Like there's like, in terms of get everyone to sing the Lavender Town theme. Yes, I like my words too. They fit. English showed up bad English. It's interesting because there are prescriptivists and descriptivists in linguists, right? Or people who are invested in language in certain ways. Hello. Prescriptivists are like, you should speak this way because this is the right way to speak. And descriptivists are like, this is how people are speaking, right? So there's a difference in it. People are really weird. So true. You know what I am? I'm a teen. I'm supposed to be acting raucous and rebellious. But this town sucks so bad. I just don't have the spirit to be a proper teen. Oh, Tina. When I'm old, I'll probably say things like, I really wasted away my teen years. Usually that's supposed to mean you regret your reckless teen mistakes. But I'll think of how lame I was instead. Yeah, everybody seems to be super not happy in this town. English is sort of a mutant language, which it is. Crone's like, prescriptives are wrong. Sorry. They're all, ooh. Do you want to know something super creepy? Love it. My AP English teacher was a prescriptivist for sure. Yeah, and I just think like, I feel like you have to balance those two things in some kind of a way. Jer says, the section of the street I grew up in was distinctly diverse. At least around here, if you were poor, you were in the bad neighborhood regardless of race. Yeah, but that's because, Jer, you're young. This is where you and I and Krellin get to be young. Right? We get to be the young ones now because we are not old enough to have lived back then, which I'm glad. Carl says, because prescriptivists are the sort of people that said you can't end sentences and prepositions because that was a rule in Latin, so it should be a rule in English, and that's the sort of thinking that I will not put up with. I appreciate what you were saying, Krellin, because because that is something that with which I shall upput. Who says that, right? Like that's weird. That's weird. That's so, come on, that's so strange. Yeah. Although, you know what though, Jer? The Boston area is still really segregated. Like, the poor white people and the poor black people and the poor Chinese people and the poor Latinx people, they actually don't live in the same neighborhoods in the Boston area. Boston's super segregated. It's really uncomfortable. As a Californian, it's like, ooh, it creeps me out. I kept writing until I could get to a preposition to end with. Fair. One way it shows is how meat and animals have different names, like pork and pig. Oh, yeah. So I was never actually taught in English what a preposition actually is. Oh, either that or I didn't listen. A preposition is a word that you use to connect small... So, or I've forgotten. To the market is a preposition. Above the chair. So like prepositions will give you with, to, from, above, below. Oh yes, of, for, with, after. All of those which modify other parts of your sentences. Meanwhile, my English teacher taught us how to say them all, or most of them, in alphabetical order. They fit to this tune of Jingle Bells. Really? Cookster, that's so cool. Yeah, that they modify other parts of sentences. So they're not like the subject, verb, or object, but they often are but they're not conjunctions, right? So conjunctions are and, but. And, but. Conjunction, junction. What's my fun? Or, thank you. What's my, and sometimes yet. What's my function? Hooking up phrases and something in clauses. Conjunction, junction. What's your function? Yet is the Y. Yet is the Y of conjunctions. All right, so B. Wright says, as a computer developer, we put the anal into analyst. I tried to look for more precision in language than most, more so than precision in my typing. I have sympathy for the important thing is to get your message across rather than being much too prescriptive, but how can you be sure the right message was delivered if you don't have some level of common understanding? So that is, for me, that's where the mix is. I think that there are prescriptivists whose prescriptions actually do not increase understanding. And they, so like, the thing is, I think one of those things is that the descriptivist a descriptivist is not like loosey-goosey, everything is fine. The descriptivist says like, okay, what are the rules that society has created? Right? What is the common understanding? Let it describe the common understanding and recognize that common understandings can change. A descriptivist doesn't think that there are no understandings. It's just that they change with time and place. Whereas a prescriptivist would say, well, but this is what we did 200 years ago. This is what we must continue doing. And sometimes they're actually wrong about that. That's not what we did 200 years ago, but right. Prescriptivists tend to want like one thing only. And oftentimes that thing may not even be accurate. For example, prescriptivists say that you cannot use they in single person, right, as a gender neutral term. They're like, you can't do that. That's wrong. I'm a prescriptivist. You can never use it. But the thing is, Shakespeare used they as a gender neutral singular. So like people in English have been using they as a single gender neutral singular for centuries. So the prescriptivists are just sort of wrong about that one. Or how one word is pronounced one way and another word like moose and goose become moose and geese. Yeah. I still can be bothered to really differentiate what a preposition is. Look, NRW, the reason why the plural of moose is because you can have more moose than moose. Should be meese. I hate you, Mises to pieces. Observe and understand. Yeah. I get it. A common base with flexibility in that and that language is not immutable, but requires common development. Yeah, and that it also just does, whether you like it or not. Like, I know that France is like super prescriptivist in their language. They're like, these are the languages allowed in French. And you're like, well, but people are going to do what they're going to do. Kind of can't stop people. The descriptivists and prescriptivists both agree that it isn't could have, but for different reasons. Yes. I nicknamed my friend in middle school Gooses. The singular they is older than singular you. That's all I'm saying. It's true, actually. It's true. It's true. Because I thought it was ridiculous. I do like it because thou used to be singular second person and you was... No, ye was plural. You was... thou was the informal and you was the formal. Yeah, they try to do that same... But the thing is, people are going to do what they're going to do. So, like, thou was... yeah. Yes. They are sticks in the mud, as in ye gods. Exactly. So there was something else I wanted to tell. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So do you want to know what's super creepy? Super creepy? Super creep. Do you want to know? Super creep? Anglish, everybody. Anglish is super creepy. I don't... Have we talked about English before? Hear ye, hear ye. So Anglish, the Anglish movement... is so creepy. Yeah. So English is a... Let me see if I can get an example of it. So English is a movement because they're translated thou for a reason. God is giving individuals... Yeah. So I actually heard a conversation about the moose, goose, geese thing a few weeks ago. I don't remember the details, but it was basically we got goose from a language A and moose from language B, and that's how those individual languages pluralize, and that's how always, that's always it. So English is a movement. There are people who, here we go. There are people who believe that we need to make English pure again. Make it pure and get rid of... That's true. Here. Let me go over here. There you go. That we need to get rid of all the foreign influences in English and make it pure again. And so they want to get rid of all non-Germanic words in English and replace all non-Germanic words with Germanic words. Now, part of me feels like just speak German, but okay. Yeah, and so... Well, but the thing is, they don't exactly want to speak Old English. They want to speak like and so let me see if I've got it. Let me see if I've got. Let me see if there is the way, and the thing is, what they do is actually weird. Like when you hear it, you're just like, why are you even doing this? Like, what are you doing? Let me see if I can find. Let's see. I'm looking for... Yeah, so... It's... Old English is too foreign sentence. Yeah, no, I think it is. There's a great book on punctuation called Eat, Shoots, and Leaves. Yes. The original sentence was about what an animal ate and not about how a cowboy may have paid for lunch. Yes. Too much... I want to find out what the German word for taco is then. The thing is, they would make up a word is what they would do. And I don't think they realize how insane that is and how... Yeah, what are you doing? Being racist and dumb. So I'm looking at their website, and the settings are leafrets, oversettings. So oversettings. Let's see if we can find something. Lands, tongues, starwise. Okay, so this is okay. Here you go. If you want to know. I'm pretty sure English was never, it's true, it was always mixed. Sounds like some suck-up academics trying to no, these are not academics. I think they're just white supremacists, to be honest, is what I think they are. No, but they come up with the technology terms. So this is, I'm going to read to you in their wiki, their information on Star Wars, but you can't use the word wars because wars is not Germanic. So I'm going to read you these things because this is it. Starwise, English Star Wars, is a stream of witch ship playthrough films by George Lucas that follows the life of many Hodes a long time ago in a star set far, far away. Besides film, there have also been many books, film games, farseer shows, toys, and more made for the stream owing to its belovedness. The brand began in 1977 with the first showing of the film Starwise, later undernamed Follow 4 A New Hope in 1981, and it swiftly became a folk-couth happening. Two more after-follows were made called The Rich Strikes Back, probably Reich, and Comeback of the Jedi. These first three films make up the first Thrylock. A four-follow Thrylock was made between 1999 and 2005, which were much more unfolkly than the first. A third after-follow Thrylock began being shown in 2015 and is still being made to this day. A few spin-off films have also been made, ecking to the spowing of the brand. With a gathered upbringing of $7.5 Thrysand, Starwise is the third most earning film stream of all time. Film games. Fuck these people. I want to punch someone now. I understand this. I can't get enough farseer shows. It hurts me. So, yeah, after follows. Fuck you. This sounds insane. I know, right? This is Comeback of the Jedi. Just because I want to punch someone doesn't mean I'm going to punch someone. They are as ridiculous as flat earthers, but for other reasons. Yes. Let me tell you the name of the films. Follow 4, A New Hope. Follow 5, The Rich Strikes Back. Follow 6, Comeback of the Jedi. 4, Thrylock. Follow 1, The Ghostly Threat. Follow 2, Onslaught of the Twins. Onslaught of the Twins? Wait, what was episode 2 named? The Phantom Menace. Wait, what was... Clone Wars, thank you. Clone Wars. Onslaught of the Twins. Follow 3, Wreck of the Sith. After Thrylock. Follow 7, The Thrake Awakens. Follow 8, The Last Jedi. Follow 9, The Rise of Skywalker. There have also been other standalone films made for the stream. Starwise Withstanders. Starwise The Twinwise. Shrike 1, Shirk 1, A Starwise Tale. Shirk 1, must be Rogue One. Lone, A Starwise Tale. I actually want to watch Onslaught of the Twins. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, are you ready? Can I just look, one more. Come on, just one more, a little bit, one more. I want to, this is the opening of, is this the entire script? Oh my gosh. I think they have the entire script of Star Wars, Starwise, here. I just want to read the opening's crawl for you. Luke and Leia are twins as far as I know. I'm from a Star Trek family. Han Lone, I know, right? They must call Han Solo Han Lone. So what are their plans for stuff like person names, company names, or product? Just make things up. Yes, so let me just read the opening scroll, because I think you might find this very exciting or distressing, as I do, because I appreciate that. A long time ago, in a star set far, far away, Starwise, Follow 4, A New Hope. It is a tide of brotherswy, upriser roomthships striking from a hidden holdout have won their first sigh against the evil Starset Reich. Bewhile the Hild, upriser sleuths were able to still dern layouts to the Reich's greatest weapon, the Death Star, a shielded starhold with enough might to foredo a whole world. Sought after by the Reich's evil henchmen, Firsten Leia races home aboard her starship, keeper of the stolen layouts that can spare her folk and bring back freedom to the star set. Yeah, okay. Bruh, I feel like these people are just to laugh at. how is just making stuff up more pure? Well, that's the thing. We all know that we're reading instead of Let It Nice this summer. Gibberish, come on, Levi. People said other people. The thing is, the problem is the first in, as in like, as in instead of princess. The problem is, Kulan, this is coming from a xenophobic and white supremacist space. Like, this is the problem, right? This is like ethno-nationalism in language. So like trying to sort of create an ethno-nationalist language is creepy. It's creepy. Atomica says, I hate to be mean, but does anyone else feel like there's a Venn diagram where guys who want this language standard overlaps heavy with guys who take medieval LARP way too seriously? Maybe. This literally sounds like some bad YA fantasy fic. Yeah, to be fair, these people have to be etymologists to know what words suit their prerequisites. Yeah, English has always been xenophobic. That is news to you lot? Well, English is a mix of French, Saxon, Nordic. Like it's like English is a multicultural language. I'm sorry, Kulan. You said the English, not English. You said you were talking about the people, not the language. I see. I see. Anyway, I just wanted you to know about English because it's actually super creepy. And I wanted you to know that it existed. I wanted you to know it. Hey, you should go to the Crazy Raven. It's only the coolest hangout spot in Delphi. I definitely don't work there. This is candid viral marketing. Okay, actually, I do work at the Raven. I do the advertising, plus, and waitressing, team a few things. As an English person, I did grow up quite xenophobic, but thankfully the internet happened, and I no longer am. It's weird, though. I suppose it depends on which English, considering that the English have been, you know, all over the globe. Because they had an empire. Colonizing things. Don't tell me I work too hard. Oh, okay. Just because we used to call the gibberish double Dutch? I mean, so like the thing is that the UK has been multicultural for centuries. I suppose you could be multicultural and xenophobic. I suppose it depends on when. Because there are times when, of course, the English have been really excited about French fashion or going to Italy. Like, I think it just depends on the English. Right? I feel like it depends, because there is also a tradition of cosmopolitanism and internationalism in the UK. I'm just saying, while there are some people in the UK who are perhaps gross, that's not all of the UK. That's not all of the UK, in the same way that, like, not all of the US is the same. Xenophobic? Come on! The English spent so much time since the 16th century trying to meet everyone. Everyone. But now that I've accepted, I'm just like, yeah, I don't care what people are anymore. Y'all cool. Now that I'm gay, I love it. Just like be in their space. In Finnish, we don't have many loan words, but we have few, but not many. And even those loan words have been changed somewhat, but have even changed completely. Example, telephone was originally called telefonibun. Now it's called puolin. Oh, that's interesting. Computer is called tietokone, which translated literally knowledge machine. Oh, that's so interesting. I guess stuff is getting worse with in politics, so it's yeah. I mean, it's not like they did it for the spices. Have you ever had English cooking? Hey, I've heard that Indian food is really great in the UK. Tietokone. The Raven is actually a great place. I don't want it to close because my boss is an idiot. Tell your friends about the Crazy Raven, okay? All right. So, Indian food is huge in England. Look, I'm dancing. What do you think is the deal in this place? Oh, by the way, sorry, I didn't tell you all. Our giveaway for this week. By the way, I didn't, I'm Trooper SOP in this academic voxel if I didn't say. But we have a giveaway, and our giveaway is Gris, the game that we just played a couple weeks ago, the beautiful, beautiful platformer that with all the color. That is our giveaway for today, which we're going to give away. It's going to be really good. I was going to mention Indian cuisine. We love a good curry. Speaking of which, you know what I haven't had in a while? I've had a good yellow curry. I do love a good yellow curry, and I haven't had one in a while. No, I did. I'm so sorry. The thing you like. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but we're gonna do the giveaway. It was a while ago. It was like the time before last. It wasn't. It was recently. You know, it was. Here, I'm losing my. Here we go. Oh, really? I wish you were here when we were playing it. That would have been awesome. I think most Germans use handy. Oh, yeah, they do. Isn't mobile phone on Journey manhandled? No, it's a handy. It's a handy phone. They'll call it handy phone. So like 70% of that team that worked on it did the animation. Oh. That's so interesting. In the long ago. I just made that thing you like. Ask what word Germans. Yeah, they use the words. They use the handy. At least where I was at in Germany, they use handy phone. It's like a handy, which I always thought a little bit amusing as an American, but I was like not gonna tell them because you know what? Different cultures use different words. I did. Yes, probably, maybe, but I played it on here. I feel like I just played it. I feel like I just played it before Pamplemousse. Hey, welcome to the Delphi Inn. Interested in a room? No? What else is new? Felina, I'm stuck with this place because it's a family business. Nobody ever visits Delphi, though, because nothing ever happens here. Yeah, this town used to be a lot more bustling. It's been on the down for a while, though. Nobody here cares about anything anymore. Well, that's depressing. Why do you think the town got so sad? I don't know. Does anything ever happen? Why does anything ever happen to the economy? Don't ask what Americans call a handy. Don't do it. It is a handy because you hold a thing in your hand. I think he played it before. Yeah. What do the British call a handy then? Oh, that's a good question. Wait. Oh, okay. Oh, I will. Feel better. Singing to you. No? Yeah, y'all are depressed. Would you just call them... I think that... Don't the British call them mobiles? Maybe they don't. Oh, hey, look. There's music coming from here. Oh, sorry. Was I playing too loud? No! Do you want to join a band? Not really. I know, Depression Village. What? I really think you should join my band. Let's talk. Okay, sure. Ooh. Ooh. We call them phones. Troopers, don't do it. Translated. Don't get me tossed, you little shit. Yes. Yes, mobiles. Not normally cell phones. I don't know what happened to your typing. Me too. I rarely hear someone say mobile in England. Huh. Do you just call them phones? I hear cell phone if you're going to go generic. I mean, I think a lot of people will actually use brand names now, say like iPhone or Android. But cell phone is, I think, was what I generally hear is like cell phone, and at least in the parts of the U.S. where I'm at. Share. I was about ready to swallow when you typed that. I don't blame you. A thing you hold in your hand, also how the American handy came about. This is true. This is true. True comments. Truth. You're pulling my leg. So when I was in Liverpool, I was in a disco, a nightclub, and these two Liverpudlian women came up to me and they found out that I was American, and they were very excited, and they were also very drunk. And the entire conversation was them being like, "You're American." I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And they're like, "Do you drive a truck? Do you drive a truck?" And I was like, "Well, I don't actually don't have a truck. No, I don't have a car." And they're like, "No, but in America, do you drive a truck?" And I was like, "Yeah, we drive trucks." And they're like, "Just a truck, we drive a truck. Do you eat candy?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, and they were like super drunk. "It's candy." And like, I was like, "Oh, they're testing their American vocabulary." And I was like, I wonder how long they'll keep doing this. Like, I wonder when they'll get bored. And it just went on. And they're like, do you use a wrench?" And I was like, "Yep, use a wrench." And they would laugh, and they were like, "Guys, use a wrench, wrench." "Do you have a flashlight?" And I was like, "Yep, we also have a flashlight." And they're like, "That's a flashlight." And like, they were so tickled. And I was just like, they've got to run out of vocabulary at some point in time. They kept me there for a very long time, just being so tickled that in the United States, we have a trunk. You know, it was. And the thing about it is that, and as Kulan says, drunk conversation. And because I was not drunk at all, because this place only served beer, and I don't drink beer. So I was completely sober, and they were smashed out of their mind at like 7 o'clock in the evening. And it was just a little hilarious to me to just like, to sort of deal to like, I was having a good time because they were just a little bit ridiculous. That thing says, if it's a mobile phone, we say phone. If it's in your house, then it's either a landline or a house phone. Interesting. Scouts our age are really good at talking and rambling. It was hilarious to me. Drunk people make me nervous when you approach me in the street. Oh, yeah, no, that's because they might stab you, right? Why is Trooper describing drunk people? Hey, Rissa, I was discussing about how we've been talking, for some reason, this whole stream, we've been talking about language and dialect and accents. And I was talking about how when I was in Liverpool, these two drunk Liverpudlians were basically trying out all their American vocabulary on me, and they just thought it was hilarious. And I thought they were really drunk, and I thought that was hilarious. That's why. And they wouldn't, you're right, Kulam, they wouldn't have done that sober at all. They wouldn't have at all, and it was just so hilarious. One day I'm gonna rewrite the MP spam sketch to beer and get Trooper to read it. Yes. I think most people just say phone now and don't even think about landlines at all. Yeah, I think I probably say cell phone because I'm old. Is it weird that I could tell they were drunk from the question about trucks? It is not weird at all. It is not weird. I feel like that is what you have to know. Hey, I have a question. Will you do me a favor, all of y'all? Do you hear a beeping? Because there's an alarm going off outside in the hallway. It's a high-pitched beep, 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 and I'm going to have to call someone. But I want to know if you all can hear it. I'm going to stop speaking so that you can listen to tell me if you hear this beeping sound, because I want to know if it's coming across the stream. I have a limiter, so I hope it doesn't. But could you just tell me? I'm going to stop talking. Tell me if you hear it. Okay. That's all I need to know, because I've got 2 streams tomorrow, including City of Light and Shadow, and I do not want that beeping. If they do not fix it, I do not want that beeping in my face, by the way. Okay, good. Those conversations never went badly. They often ask, yeah, I think it's hilarious. I just think, so when I was I lived in Germany, right, for 5 years, and I don't drink beer, which meant that I was often not drunk when other people were very drunk, because I just don't drink beer. Because I'm a super taster and beer is very bitter, so it's not tasty for me, and I don't see the point in drinking things that are not tasty. Were any of those drunk Brits trying to flirt with me? I don't think they were, though. I think they were just tickled by the novelty of meeting an American in person. So I don't think they were trying to flirt with me. Sometimes people flirt with me, but I don't think they were. I don't hear it, and I use my right ear, which is better at hearing hard tones. Thank you, that thing. Oh, Rissa, you finished Pills of Eternity? Give me no spoilers, but how was it? Did you enjoy it? Like, how did it go? How was it? Just, Also, we're going to do our giveaway in 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, we're going to do the giveaway for Gris. So, you know, just make sure you say something in chat, and then you'll be eligible for the giveaway. By the way, it's 1st of May here, so today is Vapu. It's basically a celebration of the start of spring. Oh, happy May Day. Happy May Day. B-Right says, I thought about my landline today when a different ISP working on the street outside my house ripped my landline out of the ground. I had to wait for a new line to be run from the cabinet to the house. No internet for 6 hours is such a first world problem, but nonetheless frustrating. Yes. Speaking of which, I'm going to be moving July 1st. I don't have an apartment. Don't worry about it. I mean, I'm worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Don't worry about it. Anyway, a lot of the places I'm looking at are like, we have Wi-Fi available. It's like, yeah, but I stream, so I need to like physically plug in, and I hope that I'll be able to do so. Then you drink the wrong beer. Beer is just gross no matter who. No, I mean, I don't like beer at all. And I don't like, and they, because I taste it like it's a super taster. Beer tastes bitter, and that's a problem you can't just think about, so you should worry. Yes, it's true, but I've not had the time. But right now, at this moment, I'm seeing the end of the tunnel. I've got a final exam. I've got oral presentations tomorrow at 9 in the morning. Ooh, speaking of which, I've got to do some grading. So I've got a bunch of grading to do. Oral presentations tomorrow morning, but like by the 11th of May, I'll be done. It'll be really good. When did you play Night in the Woods? Oh, a while ago, actually. It kept me occupied, but I was bummed I couldn't finish all the side quests. It's kind of heavy thematically, but lots of loot to loot. No jumping. No jumping. Was the story good? Was the story good? Look, I was invited to Oktoberfest by some friends who wanted to meet up with me in Munich. So I went to Oktoberfest in Munich. And here's the thing about Oktoberfest. People are drunk. They're not like, oh, drunk. They're like drunk. They're drunk. And I remember at the end of the evening, it was like 11 o'clock at night, and we're out in the Wiesen, which is this big field where Oktoberfest is in Munich. And it's a parade ground, so it's this huge field, and they've set up these sort of like artificial lights, you know what I mean, with generators and all that, so there are lights in the space. And I'm walking, and I'm seeing people, like, and so the lights have that kind of a weird kind of orangey tint to them, so like the environment looks a little bit weird, and I'm seeing people like crawling on the ground and wandering around, like it seemed like a film to me. Cider is nicer to get drunk with, or Perry, but only the good stuff from juice. I'm trying to think of when I found this stream and if I actually missed Chris or not. I think you must have done, right? They are Where's the Doctor drunk? That is how drunk they were. Were they crawling in your skin? No, but I think they might have. On the plus side, you don't have to worry about con season getting in the way of moving. But we might still have Gen Con. I know. Nobody, I know. When I say we might still have Gen Con, that is like, I mean, it's very unlikely. Not sure, says Rissa. I'm not sure how to answer whether the story was good. It was engaging, but what Stacy heard had her pretty certain she would have noped out pretty early. Huh. Too intense? Too dark? If you played Night in the Woods before Gris, then you definitely missed Gris. I feel like I must have played it afterwards. They have not canceled Gen Con yet. They have delayed registration, but they've not canceled it yet. So I don't know what's happening with Gen Con. Anarctivy says, I started playing Morrowind. Oh, Morrowind. I love Morrowind. I love it because it lets you and encourage exploiting the mechanics of the game. I just liked it because I like the politics of it. Krellin says, sometimes I wonder what we do if it turns out that recovery doesn't imbue immunity, and thus there can be no vaccination. Ooh, Krellin. Ooh. Yeah, Gris was pretty recent. Levi says Night in the Woods was before Gris. Gris was pretty recent. Yeah, it was pretty recent. Oh, I'm really excited for my birthday in 25 days because you're getting a new camera. What kind of camera are you getting? I want to know what kind of camera. I'm very excited. Too dark and too intense in places. There's torture, babies born without souls, and a lot of murder. I wonder if I'd like it. I do like some darkness. Did you save the world? In the end? I don't know if it's a game where you do save the world. Is it a save the world kind of a game or no? Hey, Lord Arctic Frost, I've not seen you in a gazillion years. How are you doing? Lord Arctic Frost, I just want you to be able to shoot frost rays out of your hands. That would be amazing. I'm upgrading from a Canon EOS 1100D to a 750D. Huh. You can do something to ensure babies have souls again. Oh, okay. So you can sort of basically save the world. Well, hello. So what's this about a band? Well, I met this guy named Manny and blah 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 blah. That's why you should totally join my band. Well, you just said blah a lot of times, but I think I got the gist. The truth is, I don't think I can do it. Oh no. Sadness. A bunch of plans on how to upgrade my gear over time. I want to get a camera so I can make like a better camera. That's what I want to do. It's not really a save the world goal. It's more fix what's wrong and stop the bad thing from continuing. And you have 5 or 6 choices at the end. Oh, that's interesting. I need to play this game. That was Rissa. Lord Arctic Frost says, trucking while y'all got grounded. Just kidding, y'all didn't get grounded. We're totally grounded. Jer says, well, we know our bodies create antibodies at least, so even if we can't get a vaccine, we should be able to get a treatment made. Oh. Are you looking at getting a better video camera or a webcam? Well, what I want to do is I want to get one of those DSLRs. You know, one of the ones. I've got it in my wish list at the moment. No, it's not my wish list. It's in my it's in my cart, just sitting there. It's like I want to get one of those DSLRs, like a good camera, but you can also use it as a webcam, right? So like I can put it up, and I can have like much better. But I could also use it to make videos for the internet. So if I want to make video blogs for YouTube, then I can do that. I think I should probably wait to get it until actually after I move, because then I'll have more time. Yeah, but treatment still means getting sick, still means people can be put down for weeks by this thing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about the meatpacking plants. Oh, my lesser DSLR makes a better video camera than my pro DSLR. Oh, that's interesting. They're these kind of like mid-range DSLRs that are not super, like they're pricey, but they're not like insane. And I might be able to get one of those. That thing says, oh, okay, so DSLRs are good and will definitely have good quality, but if you want a good camera for videos and to use for face cam, look into mirror. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, right? A mirrorless camera. So a DSLR, but so there's like the same company, they have like the same thing, but one is in mirrorless, like so mirrorless. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it mirrorless. That's what I'm going for it. I'm going to get a mirrorless one. A mirrorless. I only know about Canon DSLRs and mirrorless. The lenses for DSLRs cost a ton. Yeah, I think I want to get one that's the one. It's a mirrorless that I want to get, and I want to get one that's like a good one, but not like insane, because those are really pricey. Antarctica says, also politics stuff is great. Telvanni are my goat of an asshole mages. Idea of asshole mage thinking you are low life if you can't cast simple levitate spell is great. They hear their home in such a way that you need levitate. Yeah, I mean the politics of Morrowind is like really the reason why I love it so much. Rissa says, I just have to get through the next 7 days at work and then I'm off from May 9 to 19. Sad I can't go anywhere or go out celebrate the big birthday, but at least I can take a week and be a lazy lump and not be mad at myself about it. Yes, but also once I get past the things that I've got piling up right now in May, the beginning of May, basically once grades get done and once I've got everything set up for like the good societies finished, the other good societies started, like once I'm all set up, then we have got Rissa, you and I have got a fatal, we have a Cthulhu Confidential to play probably it'll be mid to late May is what I'm thinking, because that will be, I think, when I am in goodness. Skexy says they're definitely getting closer to better treatments for people who have been hospitalized. Short of a vaccine, what is needed is a treatment that will start to help people before it becomes a hospitalization. Yeah. Do you not like Sony's Ice Bunny? Why can't you do it? I've never been on a stage before, and I always wanted to play my first show with my mom. Oh, well, where is she? She passed away. I'm here in Delphi for her funeral. Oh, I'm sorry. My mom was the one who taught me to play. She was really famous, you know. I never thought I'd live up to her, but at least thought one day I'd come back to play with her. I think you should just leave me alone right now. I don't want to talk anymore. Oh. Oh. Woo! Hey, Lil Bard. You can only get Sony lenses, and they're expensive for Canon. You can get non-brand ones. Oh. What was the, hold on. I might be able to tell from my phone. Maybe. What was the one? Because clearly I've got some camera people here. Cart. See items saved for later. Here, I can tell you. Hold on. It was a Panasonic Lumix, which is currently unavailable. Well, I'm sure it'll come back into availability at some point in time. But it was a Panasonic Lumix, was the one I was mirrorless, was the one that I was looking for. Because I've heard good things about it. I hear that like it's not so like it's often on sale. It's not like, you know, that it's decent. Not like there's one that was, oh, these are all kind of pricey right now. There was one point in time when they were like, you could get one for, I mean, like now they're like $1,000, but the ones I saw a really good deal that was not $1,000. It was way less than that. Anyway, they must be in a shortage at the moment. But that's what I'm looking for. I was looking at a Panasonic Lumix. Let's see. So currently, pretty much all mirrorless cameras are going to run you a lot of money. It might have been the Lumix GX5. It was one of the Lumix. It was one of those Lumixes that was mirrorless and like in that G something or other. It's also, I don't care much for modern open world games all that much because Worlds feels like they have been tailored for convenience of the player exclusively and not as worlds where people actually live. Yes. One of the better DSLRs for video is the Canon 90D. Yeah, I want a mirrorless though, because I think the mirrorless is going to be like a good thing. So I want a mirrorless. I love Lemonade. So I want a mirrorless. I want one that's like, that let me take really good videos for YouTube and then also have a nice, because I've got this C922, which is right over there. You're not looking at it right now because you're not seeing it. But like, oh, if you want to, you can. Here, this is it. It's a little dark, and it's interesting to me the ways in which I only have one light on me at this moment. Here, let's do that. I only have one light on me right now, but this one I just don't like. I know everyone's like, this is like the best camera in the universe. Everybody loves the Logitech C922, but I mean, and I use it for when I'm streaming. We are. I use it for when I'm streaming. I just don't think it's not as good as, I don't like it as much as my built-in iMac camera. Like my iMac camera, I think is way better. And I've messed with these Logitech settings, and it just doesn't. I just don't think it's as good. I just don't think it's as good as my like iMac camera. So I'm hoping if I can get yeah, I'm hoping if I get like, you know. So hey, Baron Tor. Also, one of the better there's pros and cons to both mirrorless and DSLR. Yeah, my Mac might be better. I just feel like it feels warmer to me. I feel like I look more like a regular human being. I mean, again, like, I don't know. I feel like I look a little weird here. You know? I don't know. I mean, it's fine. Like I use it when I'm streaming City of Light and Shadow. I use this, and like it's not fuzzy, so it's all right. I just feel like this one's better. That's all. Oh, could be lighting and settings messing with your perception. Could be. I'm just noting that same lighting, this looks way better than this, right? This looks dark. Now, usually when I'm going to be streaming from this camera, I have my softbox on as well, so I have a lot of light on me, because it feels like that's the only way for this camera to be able to take it, you know? Yeah, this just looks more natural, and the other one just looks a little weird. You can get DSLRs that are tailored to video and add long as you have a good wide angle lens, 55mm and lower. You should be good for what you want. Yeah, it's like a difference. Yeah. And the thing is, like, here, where's my cursor? So like this shirt, the sleeves are white, and it's certainly white here, right? Like it's just got a weird, I don't know about it. Anyway, I do not know why. Here, hold on a second. You can still hear me, but here, this is my, right? Turn on my softbox to get all the lighting. All of the lighting. All right. So here I am, right? And I still look, still looks fine. And then if I'm going to go for my C922, like the lighting is better. Like, but I still don't think so. Like, if I have all of my lights on, this camera becomes acceptable, and like I can be here and I don't feel like it's the worst ever. But I still don't think it looks as good as here, right? And I will just note that my iMac camera looks good with either just the one light or with both, whereas the C922 only looks good with both lights on. That is what I notice. Yeah, it's definitely cooler. I don't know. I don't think it is the angle. I think it's the color, right? Like Levi says it's cooler, right? It feels cooler. You have all books one angle, a wall in another. Also, do you plan to do any of the interview style streams? That thing I've done last summer. I did interviews all last summer. I did talking trooper talks, talking trooper talks, talking tabletop with trooper. I had an interview show last summer. And I interviewed, I did maybe 8 episodes where I interviewed some people, some gamers about their stuff. And it was very nice. And this summer I'd like to do it again, although I'm going to be moving, so it's a little bit tricky, but we will see. Yeah, the color is just different, right? The color is different. There's probably some differences in color, but being colorblind, I'm paying attention more to lighting and tone. And the thing is, I think it's subtle, but I also think, I don't know. Come here for a second. Do I have... I don't think I have the 922 here. Well, maybe I do. Let's see. You'll be able to see it a little bit better here, I think. Let's see. We're looking for video capture device. Add existing. And let me move this here. And see this here. I'm gonna put this here for you so you can see it. Give me a second. It's a little off, but probably good enough for government work. Let me option. Here we go. Okay. It's probably something you could just adjust, but that's the whole thing with Macs. They're supposed to just work right down to web. No. The thing is with the I don't need to adjust my iMac camera. It looks great. What I need to adjust is the C922, and I have messed with the adjustment settings for that over and over. It's just yeah, and like because I have messed with them, right? Like I have gone on and on with those C922 settings. I keep working on it. And it keeps like no matter what I do, like basically it can look like this or it can look even worse. So here's what it looks like, right? So if you look at it, it's much cooler, and it's got like our regional phrase for that New England and Northeast England used to be nigh enough for pit work. Yes, right. So like it's got like a slightly different quality, and it's like it's fine because this is what I use when I'm streaming City of Light and Shadow, because I need to have all of my because I basically need to screen capture from here, so I have everything here in this space. I just don't think it's like it's not the worst, but I just don't think it's great. I just think it's just okay. I just don't. Yeah, that's my cloak for The Witcher. Jazz hands. Yeah, I just think it's like So I just think this is better. We're gonna find out who our winner for Gris is, by the way, because I want to know. I also know I want curry, but it's fine. It's the thing is, here's the thing about it being fuzzy. I have made it sharper, but when it's sharper, it looks really bad. This is about as sharp I could go before it starts, and it's already looking a little bit weird. Like when it gets sharper, my facial hair looks really strange. Yeah. I'm wondering if it's focus. It's way cooler. On the 922, the paint of the walls are the same as your shirt. And your built-in camera, they're clearly different. It picks up less color in your books. Oh. Uh-huh. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you can't read the books. It's like it's on the edge from sharpness. See, and here's the tricky thing, is that when I've put, ooh, hello. Oh, that's fine. Come here. Yeah, so like when I have done advanced, when I've done more sharpness, it tends to make me look, things tend to get a little bit creepier, I have found. Like here. Let me save this. Yeah, you can already see it, right? Like it's a little sharper now, and my face looks weird. You can see this, right? You can, right? Look at this. And that's even more sharp. Like it's even sharper, but I still don't think you can read the books. And I'm looking a little weird now. At this point, like you can see the fact that I've not yeah, and not only that, you're getting like my stubble is coming in, and I start looking a little bit weird. I look vaguely unreal in ways. I think this is where I was at before. Yeah, I think this is where I was at before. Oop. Trying to get used to the idea of sharing video and screen sharing at the same time. I don't like it because I have to demo stuff and I have to follow the mouse for a lot of the calls. So I feel like I look crazy too, the person I'm demoing to. Yeah, lighting is a whole different issue. Yeah. Oh, also, might I ask what kind of videos you'd shoot on YouTube, at least in terms of range and motion? Oh, mostly talking head stuff, right? It would be like videos about topics in gaming and topics of queer life, and so like history and thoughts and thinking about sort of GMing advice, that sort of stuff. So like me I would not be running around, is what I want to say. Yeah, yeah. You can see lines and scruff, right? Because you'll want different lenses for different kinds of video. Oh, I think it's focusing on you and not on your background. Yeah, and I just look, You need a ring light and a shade. I mean, I'm telling you, I've got a lot of lights going on in this. I've got a big spot, a softbox right here, and another camera there, which is warmer to make me look less washed out. Like, I got a lot. I got a lot going on lighting wise, and yeah, I have. I mean, I got a lot of light. So yeah, it's just weird to me, and things start getting. So this is where I'm at in terms of sharpness right now. I'm pretty sharp. Because if I go, so like that's not super sharp, that's all right. That's okay. And I've tried to make sure that I had some pretty decent, like, yeah, I don't know. This, because everything else starts looking really bad, right? Like, I'm just telling you, everything else starts looking really bad in terms of, are your lights the same temperature? I suppose I just don't think it's as good as the, like, I'm still using it. It's like, it's not the worst. I just don't think it's as good as the iMac camera. Yeah. So here's the thing. I used to, right, go here, and just have this, like, this used to be what I just used to have. And then I got a second light here to add more, and they're not the same temperature on purpose, because the problem was that when it's all very, very blue, I start looking washed out and a little start looking washed out. So I've added this one here to add just a little bit of warmth to it, so that I look a little less washed out, because I noticed I was looking really, like, a little dead. I was looking a little, and so they're different temperatures, but this one here is like just an add-on to make me look less, yeah, basically, yeah, I just look really under the weather. I look really under the weather if it's just all cool light. So I just added a small little desk lamp, LED desk lamp that I can adjust the temperature on, just to add a little bit of warmth. Just a little bit of warmth. Here, let's go back to this other camera. There we go. I'm wondering if the C922 would shape up if all the light was warm. Oh, that's an interesting question, Levi. That's an interesting question. Huh. This softbox I have does not change its temperature, though. I wonder if I could somehow. Okay, talking headshot, cool. I suggest a prime lens that makes sure the maximum, in this case maximum means a lower number, aperture is around f 2.0. This will give you a shallower depth of field and make the background nice and blurry and make you the focus. That's the lower max aperture. I'm going to be messing with my own 922 soon, Trooper. If I find out some things early. Thank you, Barontor. Also, I was talking, Pumpkinberry says that you can get a Lua, and you can do this thing that will do really great things on your C92 and make it look amazing. And Pumpkinberry knows how to do that. I do not know how to do that. I think you have to do it with Photoshop. But you have the built-in camera that works anyways. Yes, I just am going to want a new camera for actually making videos. The way I do lighting is instead of direct light, I use bouncing light from my wall. Yeah, and I've got basically this light here is not coming directly at me, it's coming right by me, and this is in a softbox. So I'm not getting any harsh direct light because, that's no good. As long as you make your eyes the focal point, you'll have higher quality footage. Okay. Yep, I have a friend that runs a camera for poker streams on Twitch, and he's going to help me set up some things. Yeah, and I know that there's this way which you can do this sort of overlay thing through Photoshop that makes, and I saw Pumpkinberry's before and after, this special thing that OBS can do. I think it's an OBS that you can, yeah, so apparently in OBS you can set up this thing that apparently just makes your camera look amazing. I don't know how to do it though, but maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll figure it out. But also, I feel like I'm going to be moving to a new place, and then I'll have a new setup, because this softbox I have right now is not at 45 degrees. I want it to be here, but it's a bit more here, mainly because there's a wall right there, and I cannot fit it. And, you know, maybe when I get to the new place, the setup will be a little bit better. We'll see. By the way, I want to know who's going to win our giveaway. Who's going to win our giveaway? Levi! Levi, do you have Gris? Do you have Gris? Do you have it? Do you have it? Do you? You can also go for a lens that's a fewer focal distance, like 24 millimeter or 40 millimeter, and crop the footage a little. Levi has it. All right. Well, all right, Nightbot. We're gonna see who's our runner-up. Barontor, do you have it? Do you have Gris? Do you have it? Oh, you have it too. All right. Okay. All right. Well, give me a second. And picking fights. No, rigged. Here, come on, give it to us. Ice Bunny, do you have it, Ice Bunny? Ice Bunny, do you have Gris? Because I feel like you would like this. Yay! Excellent. Ice Bunny, I am going to send you the code for Gris. It is not super heavy on your computer, and you will enjoy it. It's really a fun game. And you should have it. I'm sending it to you right now. There you go. It is sent to you. Yes. Aw, yay, congrats. All right, now what is happening with my screen? Here we go. Yeah, so I want to get a camera that like a really good camera that I can use to make videos for YouTube, because I want to do some good talking head stuff on. I'm going to talk about, like, I want to do some GM tips and player tips, more player tips. We don't have enough player tips. I want to do some discussions of history, some takes on issues in gaming, also sort of queer stuff. Yeah, so I just want I want to make some content, and I feel like once I move and get into this new place, I feel like I'll have a lot of space to do that. I'm very excited. Don't forget to take an image of the bookshelves once you move. You can then green screen it back to it for nostalgia if your new apartment. Oh, I also have an actual green screen and another one. So, you know, I'm like, hey, Soy Furious, how are you? Welcome in. You know that who is this person you're waving? Because it reminds me of somebody. It reminds me of somebody I've seen before, but I don't know who. Yeah, I will not, in my new place, I will not be able to bring all of these books with me, or even most of these books with me. Probably very few of these books I'll be able to take with me, but I will be having some books, and I will bring a bookshelf? 2? I don't know what I'm bringing, or how I'm bringing, or how the move is going to happen. I don't know. But yeah, Trooper, if you have any questions about cameras and stuff, just message me on Discord. Oh, I will. Thank you. I obviously know everything, but I've done a decent amount of research. Thank you, that thing. DM me on Discord so I have you in a DM chat, because I bet your Discord name is not the same, or it might be. I don't know. In case it's different. I'm trying to decide if I need a green screen in these trying times. You know, you can get them not that expensive. I like the ones that are just like, they're these ones that just like fold up. Somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Whoa, I always feel that somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Thank you for the follow, a well-to-do hobbit. How well-to-do are you? Is your barrow the best barrow in Hobbiton? Inquiring minds want to know. This is what I want to know. Thank you for the follow. We're at 641 followers now, and that when we get to 750, I'm gonna buy a new camera. I might just buy it earlier, but like 750, the cameras are 750 goal. But again, I might buy it earlier if I cannot hold out. Oh, good. Thank you. That thing you like. How tiny of an apartment do you look for? I'm not looking. Bagginson's well to do. I just want an apartment that I can live in. You know, I just want an apartment I can live in. I'm not active on Discord, but I get notifications people DM me. Oh, good. Yes, so again, when I hit 750, new camera, but I might get one earlier, just because sometimes, because I want to make some content for the website. I'm very excited about adding, because, people are talking about all sorts of things, and I think to myself on Twitter, I want to talk about these things, but Twitter is not the place to talk about them. I want a place where we can talk with more nuance about things, because if there's one thing that Twitter is not good at, it is nuance. That's all I gotta say. That's all I'm saying. And I want to be able to put more things in there, and I think that would be really interesting and fascinating, and I'm excited about some good video essays on stuff. And I would like that. A lot. With or without your books? The thing is I'm an academic, so I have to take some books with me, and one of the things I have to do before I move is I have to go through all the books I have not yet unpacked and figure out which ones I have to take with me, and see if I can get into my office, which I don't know at work because everything's shut down, and figure out what books I have to take with me, and then figure out which physical gaming books I need to take with me. And so basically I've got to decide which books are going to go with me, which books are going into storage for the year and a half that I'll be gone. Year and a half. And that's what I have to do. And then I'm going to figure out which games I'm going to bring with me, which games I'm not going to bring with me. I'll probably bring things I can play solo, and then maybe one other sort of game. Like I probably won't bring... Yeah, there are probably a bunch of cards I won't bring. Yeah, so I just have to decide what I'm going to bring with me and what I'm not, and I'm going to try to bring... It's going to depend on whether or not the apartment is furnished that I'm going to. Some of the places have furnished apartments, and if that's the case, I probably won't need to bring much besides, a bookshelf or two, some books, my tech stuff. Yeah. The most difficult thing is picking only a few books and games. I did that. Oh. How did you do it, a well-to-do hobbit? How did you pick between your children? How? I think that what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say what games am I likely to GM in the next year and a half? What games am I likely to play in the next year and a half? And then let me bring just those. Luckily, I have a lot of thing. Oh, thank you, that thing. Luckily, I have a lot of things on PDF. So if something sort of crops up, then I can be like, okay, I should probably bring that. I didn't. I got Scrat to do it. I couldn't do it. That's fair. That's fair. Sometimes you just have to do that, right? Sometimes that is... so the thing is, Krellin, I probably will not bring... Because I've got all the GURPS on PDF. All of them. Everything I have on PDF. I might bring the basic characters and campaigns. I might bring 2 GURPS. Maybe Interstellar Wars. And martial arts. But that's it. I'm not bringing all of it, but maybe just some, just a little bit, just not all of them. That's it. I really want to join a new group and play a character I've had an idea for. Oh, a new D&D group. Oh, interesting. This is so fascinating because I think about the ways in which D&D is one of those few systems where people make ideas for characters without there being a campaign. And I'm used to playing games where you just don't make a character without knowing what the campaign is. And that, oh, now I want French fries. So it's interesting for me to sort of think about those differences. Have decided to play Gibbous now that I finished Pillars of Eternity. Oh, tell me about it. Gerbs means all his books. No. Brought my history books and some of my favorite reads and some TPRG. Yeah. Interstellar Martial Arts. So I think what I might do is bring... So I'm going to have to bring all of my voice stuff, all the stuff on voice. So I have to bring my voice, my trans stuff, my queer stuff, and my race stuff. I'm going to bring those, but I won't bring any of my Weimar Germany stuff. There's a bunch, because I'm working on multiple projects, but I'm just going to have to put some of those projects aside and just think, okay, just these things, and probably my stuff on the Enlightenment. So I've got to bring my Enlightenment stuff, my race stuff, my trans stuff, my queer stuff, and my voice stuff, and that's all my academic stuff that I should be bringing. Everything else, all of my Weimar stuff, I'm going to have to put aside. But I'm also going to want to bring my French resistance stuff, so my World War II stuff I'm going to want to bring. Which means I might want to bring my Weimar stuff. Oh, gosh. No. Yeah. My character idea is a goblin barbarian named Dork the Dumbass. The Dumbass is a self-anointed title after being called a dumbass so much. I make characters differently in D&D than... Yeah, in RTV, and I think it's because of the way D&D works. Like, D&D encourages people to make characters in absence of a campaign because the campaign world itself is so standardized. Rissa says you need to take COC 7E. Yes, I think I do, in case we ever get Joseph hit so we can update everyone's sheets. 39 boxes of books only. 55 boxes of books. You also need whatever book you need for your book writing. Yeah, so that's why I need my voice stuff, my gender stuff, my sexuality stuff, my trans stuff, my voice stuff. That's for the main book. I need my enlightenment stuff for my side book. And then I'm going to need Call of Cthulhu, Cthulhu Confidential. I'm going to need probably Cypher. I have to sort of sit and Clockwork Dominion. I'll need that. I might need Falkenstein. Luckily, a lot of things I have on PDF. But like, for example, I won't bring with me Song of Ice and Fire or Top Secret or Unknown Armies. I won't bring Phoenix Zero Dawn. I won't bring... Will I bring RuneQuest? I don't know. I probably won't bring Savage Worlds. Yeah, so like I won't bring Invisible Sun even though I want to. Yeah, so I just have to decide what do I need to bring physical copies for, because I what's really nice about a number of what's really great about Pelgrane Press, Chaosium, I think, as well, and some of the things of Kickstarter, that I've got PDF versions of a number of these books as well, so I have both, so that's really, really good. So that will let me have a lot of things with me, so I don't have to bring as many books. The academic books I have to bring because I don't have them on PDF, but the gaming books, a number of them I have on PDF form as well. Arnactivate says, I don't really make actual characters in D&D. I make a character that offers this stuff for the party and then give them make character for that character sheet. Yeah. Soy says, you're going to do more Cthulhu Confidentials? I am going to do more Cthulhu Confidential games. What I'm thinking is that once I move, I'm imagining what's going to happen is that a lot of the campaigns I'm in currently are all going to end right before I move. I've planned it so that I will, basically all the campaigns I'm in right now, with the exception of, I think, of Aether's Walkway, are all going to end right before I move. And so then I'll move, set up my house, get the internet, make sure the internet works, and then I'll spool back up again. And what I imagine I'll do is probably do a Cthulhu Confidential right when I move in, and because I think I can sort of get that set up and then start talking to people about maybe a second season of City of Light and Shadow, depending on how people feel about it. So I'm thinking what I'll probably do is once I move, either once I move or right before I move, depending on what the timing is. So I feel like what I'll probably do is kick off, either end this apartment with a Cthulhu Confidential or kick off the next apartment with a Cthulhu Confidential and then move in, because I have really enjoyed that and I am excited to do more. He always greets people with, hi, my name is Dork, you can call me dumbass, most people do. Oh, that thing. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, Anarchy, that totally makes sense. Will you be done with Overlight before the move? I will be. Overlight will be done before the move. Yeah, and the thing is, I like both. Like, I find books really useful in some contexts and then PDFs in others, so I like having both. I have enough books to build Fortress. In boxes, I do. That is true. In the apartment with Cthulhu, the ritual has begun. Yes. So Furious, I'm really excited about doing more Cthulhu Confidential, and the people I've played with are very excited about it. So I know we will have more. I also would like to actually do a full-on multi-party Cthulhu game. It's gonna crush Dork when he learns what dumbass means. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no. Don't they beat the Germans in one season? No. They don't beat the Germans in one season. So what I'm thinking is that we're gonna finish up before we leave I'm gonna move and get myself set up and make sure. Because here's the thing. Let's be really clear. My main concern is the internet, because right now I live on campus and I have industrial university internet. Right, like my internet's up speeds are insane because this is all the university. So my internet's really good. And when I move to a new apartment off campus, I'm gonna have my own internet, and I am concerned what that internet will be like. So I want to make sure that I've got really good up speeds. Like I need 10 gigabytes of up speeds maybe. Oh no, our internet is amazing actually. Cthulhu Confidential, that thing you like, Cthulhu Confidential is a Call of Cthulhu game by Pelgrane Press, and it is 1 player, 1 GM. So it's a really intense game where you only get 1 player, 1 GM, and it's noir. It's Cthulhu Noir. Very cool. Very cool. It's super neat. And we have it actually on our YouTube. So you can see, I've done it 3 times so far, but the first one, sadly, the first episode got eaten by the internet, and so it's only episode 2 and 3 of 3 for that first one, but the other 2 have all of the episodes on them. And, you know, I really enjoyed jamming it. I had a great time. I thought it was really fun, and I will be doing more of it. And it's like, these are like little one shots, so they're like, you know, 3 episodes, but we will be continuing on with those characters. Let's see. Party composition is way more important in D&D than many RPGs. It is true. You need someone that does damage. You need someone that does the healing, someone that does the magic. In Vampire, it isn't all that important because it is far more about political intrigue, investigation, and social play. Or there are games where yeah, that thing, I'm a fan. I also have Night's Black Agents, which is like a spy one, which is one-on-one by the same company, which I want to try out. Sort of your spies fighting Dracula, and I want to try that one out as well. It's also interesting because one of the things is, in other systems, D&D is really about niche protection, in that no one can fight as well as the barbarian or fighter, right? Like no one can fight as well as those fighter classes. No one can do magic as well, and some people can't do magic at all. No one else can like do the traps and the sneaking, right, as well as like they do niche protection so that if you don't have somebody who can do that, then your party can't do it. Whereas there are a lot of other games where that's just not the case, where everybody can sneak if they want to. Maybe some people are better at it, but everybody can do it. And everybody can fight if they want to. Like there are games where the niche protection is not that strong, so it's not that important to make sure you have one of each archetype because, you know, it's okay. Ooh, oh, that's right. There's a Cthulhu Confidential bundle of holding right now. I do actually already have all of the things, but you should do it. Ours is okay if you can get in, but since our IT always messes around with it, it sucks. Oh, that's a bummer. Let me just talk to this person. Hey, little bard. Are you following me around? No. Been pretty busy, actually, but not too busy for you. Busy with what? None of your beeswax. So that accordion player, you're going to help them, right? I want to. Do you know what you're going to do? I have an idea. Well, okay. You got this. Should I have said that I have no idea? My idea was to go and find the spirit of the mom. That was my idea. I mean, I hope that's a good idea. Do you know anything about the musician staying here? That's not a suspicious thing to ask at all. They came to town just recently. Pretty much just they're playing in their room nonstop. No noise complaints from neighbors, though. Guess they like it. If I remember right, they said they were visiting for a funeral. Like, in that cemetery just outside of town. See? That's where I'm going. The cemetery just outside of town. Just saying. Speaking of which, right, I figure you find mom, talk to the spirit, have the daughter and the mom play together. Together. That seems like what I'm gonna do. Yeah, so no, I'm definitely going to do more Cthulhu Confidential. It'll probably be in a couple of months, and then I'll do that, and then I'm also really excited to see what will happen. Look, I just am really worried about my internet connection. As long as I can get a good internet connection, then I feel like I just want to test it and make sure, because I'm also worried that my internet connection will not be wired, that it'll only be wireless. I just want to make sure that my internet is good. You know, like that's my real concern. That's my real concern. All of this isn't bad, just different priority things. Yeah. My first year of college was in 2000, and because of the Napster and LimeWire, I went from being able to max out the 10 megabit jack in my dorm at the beginning of the year to not being able to remotely log into comp sci computers on campus. I knew one of several people expelled for misuse of Unity resources. Yeah. That thing you like says, he had a wife and child, which his love for us, his main driving force into corruption. Ooh, do them being dangerous. Ooh, that's interesting. You're currently running a character. He's a bard warlock that's slowly becoming corrupted as the campaign progresses. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm just really, yeah. And I just think about, for example, right now, we're going to start this Aether's Walkway campaign, which is in the Cypher system, which, by the way, we're having our premiere tomorrow at 1 o'clock. My character is not finished. The concept is finished, but some of the details have not yet been ironed out. And that will be a thing that needs to be ironed out tonight after stream. Like once I finish stream in like 10-ish minutes, 25 minutes, half hour, whatever, I will order food, and then I will, although maybe I could just make a sandwich. I don't know. I have to see what's in my fridge. Anyway, I'm going to have food, and then I'm going to finish this ding-dang character tonight. That's it. You really know nothing. Oh, that thing. If you know nothing about other RPGs, can I just tell you? I'm going to tell you. This is what I'm going to tell you. Things are awesome. There are so many options out there for you. And maybe you won't like other RPGs as much as you like D&D, which is cool, because if you like D&D the best, that's awesome. D&D is a solid game, but there are other games out there which are really neat as well, and I encourage you to try them. And maybe you won't like them, but maybe you will. I am always, maybe I need some things for my, nope, not thinking about the GURPS books I'm going to bring with me. But there's some really cool RPGs that are so different with really different experiences, and I recommend them. And I actually would like to play D&D. I haven't played it in a long while. Oh, that's interesting. By the way, I'm totally playing this video game right now. I know it doesn't look like it, but I totally am. I'm just wanted to have a look to see who is here, who's around town. That's it. I'm totally playing it. See, did you see me move? Did you see me move? I totally moved. I moved it. I have only one D&D campaign that I want to run, and it's not really a D&D campaign. It's a fake D&D campaign. So when I say it's a D&D campaign, I lied to you. I mean, not really lying to you. So my point is, there is one. It's a fake D. I mean, how could you? So here's the thing: there's the D&D campaign that I would want to run. Is not D&D. It's actually a GURPS game. But and the thing is, I don't know how I would do this in Roll20, because in Roll20 you can only have one character sheet. I suppose what I do is have the D&D character sheet, but then have like the GURPS character sheet on the side. Maybe is what I would do. Anarchw says, I may complain about D&D a lot, but it doesn't mean I hate it. There's a lot of things I find unsatisfying. Yeah, I mean, I think that you can critique things without hating them. You know, like, yeah. That thing you like says, to be honest, I would like to branch out. I have a lot of value in the RP side of things rather than the mechanical side of things. I would definitely like to play Vampire Campaign or whatever. Ooh, yeah. No, I mean, Vampire's fun. So many games I could recommend. So the campaign that I would run, and by the way, I'm totally playing this video game right now. It may not look like it, but I totally am. The campaign is, so it's a GURPS campaign, It's a GURP Cyberpunk. It's a GURP Cyberpunk campaign that I want to run, where your characters are, you know, cyberpunks, but each one of you is a netrunner. So the entire party are all netrunners as well. Like you can also be like a punch 'em up, or you could be whatever you want to be. But everyone also is able to connect to the internet because you're a team of netrunners. But what happens is that the net running is all virtual reality, and the virtual reality is Dungeons and Dragons. So you have your regular GURPS character that is you in the cyberpunk world, and then you also make a D&D character that is you in the virtual reality. So if you want to sort of hack this mainframe to get the information, what you do is you end up doing a dungeon crawl. The dungeon represents the mainframe, right? The computer system you're wanting to hack in, and the traps are basically like the traps and monsters are all different kinds of electronic countermeasures, right? And so what you end up doing, like, and the treasure that you get is the actual information, and you have to get into the dungeon, fight all the things, get the treasure, and then get back out of the dungeon before, right, with the information. Then once you get out of the dungeon, then you jack out and you're in the real world. So it is something that I want to have both D&D and also GURPS. Have you considered Genesis for that? So use Genesis as the outside world and D&D for the inside world? You mean? Is that what you mean, Jer? Is that what you mean? Tell me if that's what you mean. Vampire's great, but it can be dark when played the way it was intended. Your party may hate each other because of the political situation makes you stronger than you would be alone. Sort of depends on how you run it. There are a lot of different ways to run it, you know? Sounds like Sword Art Online. Oh. And you get 1 XP per GP. If you want the ability to make multiple characters, use an app called Fight Club 5. It's geared towards D&D, however, it's highly customizable for homebrew stuff. The thing is, I would probably run it, and this probably would be an online game, which I think would also work. So I'd probably want to run it through Roll20. Yes. Jer, I need to know if you meant Genesis for the outside and D&D for the inside, or GURPS for the outside and Genesis for the inside. You have to let me know what you're thinking. Tell me. Hi, my name's Nate. I have some backstory to tell you. Okay. Sure, let's hear it. Okay, here's some backstory. This town is over 400 years old. Well, thanks for listening. I've always got more backstory if you want to hear it. That wasn't a lot of backstory. Fight Club 5 does have a paid premium, but it's like $4. It's the one-time payment, and then it's fully customizable and everything. Use Genesis for both inside and outside. Easy to make both fantasy and cyberpunk in Genesis. Yeah, but here's the thing, Jer. I could do that in GURPS too. Like, it would be trivial to do both outside and inside just in GURPS. But what I wanted was 2 different systems, right? Because my point, my idea is that the thing about D&D is that it's really quite unrealistic. It's very archetypal. It doesn't model reality well. And I like the idea. Yeah, I want 2 different systems, right? Because if I wanted to, I would just run it all in GURPS. Like, I could easily do that. Or Fate. Like, I could use any generic, and just to run the whole thing, like, I could use Cypher, Genesis, GURPS, Fate, Fudge. You know, like, I could easily just have one system for both inside and outside, but I don't want to. I want to have 2 different systems, because I want to play with the way that systems shape your reality a little bit. I mean, Krellin, I'm running City of Light and Shadow and Fate, so it's not like I won't run it. But I do understand that basically everybody in the universe hates GURPS and thinks it's the worst game ever. But it's weird, because I just feel like that many people haven't actually played GURPS. It's weird. It's also weird to me how many people hate GURPS when I just suspect that many people have not played GURPS. But they don't hate on other systems. Like I don't hear people say, "Oh, Palladium, I hate Palladium. Rifts, I hate Rifts." Like there are a lot, or Champions. What is Hero? So I just think that's really interesting. Like I just think it's really interesting that yeah. I can literally find you a video saying GURPS is terrible because it's perfect for everything. But didn't that video say it's perfect for everything, therefore it's good at nothing? Wasn't that the point of that video, that they're like, because it can do everything, it can do nothing well? When I mean intended, I mean not superheroes. Nothing wrong with running it like a supers game. But I don't play Vampire for that. I like to play political horror games. In Vampire, where characters are not good in traditionals. Yeah, but you know, even back in the 90s, people were playing it that other way. Or they were playing it not political horror, but more like angst. Like people have played it so many different ways. So many different ways. Vampire wasn't an example for TTRPGs I would play. I'm really in the mood to play a lighter-hearted campaign. Oh, maybe Fantasy Age. Maybe even Blue Rose, maybe Overlight. Those are more lighthearted. Yeah, people are just intimidated by the simple math of character creation. Look, I know that there are people, but it's funny. You know what's interesting though? I was just talking to some people who were like, yeah, I like more crunch. And I was like, ooh, I've not heard this in a while. Because most people are like, no, I don't want any crunch at all. I hate it. I don't want crunch. And they want like super rules light stuff, which is cool because I can run that too. But I was just running to somebody who was like, yeah, who was talking to me about how they don't like Fate. Somebody was saying they didn't like Fate because it wasn't crunchy enough and it was too open-ended. And they didn't like something else they didn't like either. They were talking about two games that are, you know, and I was like, oh. Because yeah, they just wanted more crunch with which to hang their character off of. And I was like, well, I have not seen this opinion in a while, and I thought that was interesting. Because it feels like crunchiness is not particularly in fashion at the moment. But I mean, I'm fine with both, depending. Although I often find that really rules light things sometimes are not great for long campaigns. You know, like, and I find if it's really, really light, then sometimes it's not the best for long campaigns, depending on how it's pitched. I think you could do it. Exalted could be one game. Yeah. Sure, let's hear it. Okay, here's some backstory. The girl who works for the Crazy Raven wants to be a dancer. Oh. Well, thanks for listening. I always got more backstory if you want to hear it. Yeah, give me more backstory. Yeah. Here's some backstory. Apparently, everyone recently had the same ominous dream. Okay, look. Well, thanks for listening. I clearly want more backstory. Yeah, no, I want to hear all of the backstory. Okay, here's some backstory. The old explorers stopped here because of cave monsters. Oh. Yeah, Anarch W, I agree with you. This is more factoids than it is crunch. Backstory. I agree. Yeah, so so the one of the things I think is really interesting is that different game systems often shape the way that you play the game differently, right? Like the way you conceive of the game, the way you conceive of your character, the way you think of receive the world you're in, what things seem possible to you, what things don't seem possible to you, are often shaped by the mechanics of the system itself. And so for this game, what I really wanted was to have two different mechanic systems. And I really like the idea of D&D being really good for, so for example, in D&D, you're either healthy or you're not healthy. There's no like crippling injuries. There's no stat loss for being really low health. Like you're good or you're not good. And it's really archetypal. You have like tons of hit points. So many things about D&D scream to me what it's like to be in a virtual reality. And so I love the idea of using D&D and also like class level based, like having your system be class level based really feels to me like kind of modules that you put into your hacker rig. So for me, I can really conceive of, and also just like dungeon delving in general, there's a lot about D&D that I can conceive of as being sort of a kind of a heightened reality, an augmented virtual reality. And so I really like the idea of using all the things that could be weaknesses in D&D as thematic strengths inside this virtual world. But then I would want a system that really contrasts with D&D for the outside world. So like I would want something that really does not feel like D&D at all. And actually, the reason why I was thinking GURPS is because unlike a lot of the other systems, GURPS is pretty gritty. GURPS does gritty really well. I think you could also, it doesn't have to be GURPS. It could be BRP, the system that Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest uses. That would also work because that's pretty gritty. Yeah. So like for me, Addertree suspiciously writes down notes. Yeah, and that's a system that's a campaign I want to run on I want to run that because it's one I've run it before back offline, but I want to run it online. And so I really like the idea of contrasting a much more cinematic system with a much grittier system. So you could use, you could use GURPS, you could use the system that Call of Cthulhu uses, but I don't think that Fate would be the one I would want to use for that outside. I don't think Genesis either. I think or Cypher, they're all pretty cinematic that way. So I think I'd want something a little bit crunchier for the outside of the world and something more cinematic for the inside of the world to contrast the two worlds. And so you'd have your two characters, you'd have this character that, is not as powerful as you are in the real world. And that becomes really interesting for the players because the players then, because I want to model a little bit, one of the themes of a lot of cyberpunk is the lure of the online world, right? The lure of how everything is just like grander, better, bigger, powerful. Like you've got this sort of online space and people get like sort of like addicted to the internet, like to the virtual world in these ways. And so I really like the idea of having these characters who are not as powerful in the real world, but in the virtual world, they're so powerful. And I imagine them being actually a little bit more powerful than like regular people because they're like elite hackers. And so like, I love this idea of thematizing this interesting contrast between, your characters in the outworld who can die pretty easily. If you get shot, you're probably going to die, and who can get sick and have, and because, in GURPS, in some other games in this space, the Witcher system's pretty good too. Like you have disadvantages. Like, so maybe maybe you have asthma. Maybe you are poor, right? Like you've got all these disadvantages that your character can take on to help sort of frame yourself. So having this character that's a little bit more fragile, that maybe is not charismatic, that's got these disadvantages, that's got these things in their world, and they're doing the best they can to survive in this sort of gross space, but inside the internet, you're beautiful and you're amazing because D&D doesn't have disadvantages, right? So you can just be like great looking and you can look, like you get to just like be this like beautiful or amazing barbarian, right? And so this idea of this contrast of system is something that I really wanted. And I wanted a system for the real world that is not class or level based. I wanted something point by enough that basically there are no classes that so that doesn't happen. Something with disadvantages, something that's a little bit more fragile. And I wanted to sort of have these two these two sides of your persona and really play with that thematically, and I'm just very excited about that as a concept. It's something I did it before and it worked really well, and I want to do it online because I think it would work well online as well. Totally not stealing ideas. That Thing You Like says, I've also decided to start note-taking more seriously. I bought 2 small notebooks, one for the attack encounters, notable events, and one for people and locations. Yes, note-taking is great. Cyberpunk would be a good system, but it's the same system. Yeah, so, right, yeah, and I'm going to check out Cyberpunk when it comes out. Yes. Because like that would also work. Now, of course, Witcher does have classes, right? But I like the brutality of the combat of it. But it does have classes, so would pull back a little bit. I mean, I think I'd be more likely to do GURPS or BRP, basic role playing, because none of those are classless, but they also give you grit. So those are the two that I would lean for. But both of those are because I want, and I want combat to feel different. Now, of course, I will say that, yeah, there are more professions and classes, but you do have profession skills that are not available to everyone. And so there's that sort of way that if you, like, as a noble, I have access to the noble tree of skills that non-nobles cannot access. So the question is, does the new Cyberpunk have profession skills? Because I'd want people to be the same, you know? I want to have that feeling of like people are people, to quote Depeche Mode. So why should it be that you and I should get along so awfully? So yeah, so it's a concept that I have, because, you know, here's the thing, I get conceptual in my games, but this game that I'm thinking about, which I have a name for it and everything, I have a name for it, I have a name for the campaign. I do. I've got a name for the campaign, and the name is really good. I'm just telling you, the name is really good for it. It's really good. It's the campaign name, so good. But the thing is, in order to run this game, I would need people who would be, who feel comfortable with systems, because D&D is not a light system, and either BRP or GURPS also not a light system. And I would need people who feel comfortable learning more than one system and who would enjoy playing with it. So like if you're a person that like wants no mechanics at all, a D&D GURPS or D&D BRP hybrid would probably not be for you. But if you're a person that doesn't mind learning how to play a barbarian and learning what you could do with this other system and actually find that kind of exciting, that would be the game for you. That would be the game for you. And somebody who wants to sort of play with that kind of idea. So I ran a short campaign of it once, and it went really, really well. When I ran it before, I ran it in 3.5. It was D&D 3.5 and D&D 3.5 and GURPS. GURPS 3rd edition. It's GURPS 3rd edition and D&D 3rd edition, because it was 20 years ago. It was 20 years ago, everybody. 20 years ago. And also people who are a little bit okay, and because we'd be on Roll20 and we would only have one character sheet in Roll20 itself, people who are a little bit okay with, you know, people who are okay with a little bit less handholding. Oh yeah, that's right, the 80s were only 20 years ago. Only 20 years ago, that's it. The candy shop owner's son runs the Crazy Raven. I wonder how much backstory Nate has. Can I get all the backstory? Yeah, it has, they are more related to the way Profession does things. Example, Solo Profession has somebody's watching me and I have no privacy. Whoa, I always feel that somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Hey, Burst of Hope, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. We are playing a Wandersong right now, but we're also just talking about RPGs is kind of what we're doing, really. So, you know, that is happening. And I'm just talking about a campaign that I've run before that I want to run again that uses that uses D&D and also GURPS or BRP. There are probably some other systems that I could probably use for the outside world, but what I really want is point buy, no classes, gritty combat, disadvantages. Right? Like I want something that has disadvantages, so you can make a character that has flaws, disadvantages. I want something that's gritty, not cinematic, something that is not class-based, something where combat is scary. That's what I want for the outside. And then I want D&D where there's like, woo, right? Like, you know, because you know how D&D can be. Probably start at 3rd level, right? Where it's like, the profession skill that helps with initiative, things related to fighting, and the rest of people have to use weaker skills. Yeah. So I want not that. The 90s was 10 years ago, so it only follows the 80s or 20 years ago. That's how numbers work. I agree with you, Levi. That's exactly how it works. I really want to try Open Legend. It's classless with disadvantages. I have Open Legend, and since it's an O, it should be over there. You can't see it. It's over there. That's where my O's are. Because this is Numenera over there, so my O's are way over there on that corner. I have it. I feel like it's pretty cinematic though with the exploding dice. It feels like it's going for a bit more of a cinematic feeling, but I also want to run it. I love combat actually works in separate. Yeah, I mean I like a good combat. I'm enjoying combat in The Witcher as well, related, because it gives you choices. What I like is choices as a player. Class systems often make those choices for you. They're like, oh, fighters do this. But like, I love that in Witcher, you have a choice between blocking or parrying. And blocking is easier, but it will damage the thing you block with. But parrying will allow you to stagger your person and not damage your thing, but it's harder. And I like that. Like, I like when you're like, ooh, what kind of person is my character? Is my character the person that dodges or like blocks and doesn't care about damage, or is like parrying, and like what is my character like? And I actually I appreciate when, like, for me I like being able to convey the flavor of my character through my combat choices. I like being able to think, oh, this character is a character that is brash and would therefore make attacks like this, and this character is more cautious, would make attacks like this. This character is like really smart, and it would make attacks like this. I like that. I like that being a possibility, and I like systems that allow me to do that, and not all systems, because not everybody cares about that, but I like systems that allow me to play with my character that way. A famous band got it started here, but they don't come back anymore. Ooh. We're just getting some backstory. Let's see. When I was in high school, everyone called me Nate the Great. Well, thanks for listening. Oh. It's more interesting in a combat-based system for sure. Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, even in a combat light system, I would like to be able to I'd like to be able to RP through combat, right? So I think that's the thing for me. I like it when a system, whether it's combat light or combat heavy, allows me to tell you who my character is, or be able to explore my character through combat. And sometimes some combat light systems are not satisfying because they don't let you do that. And some combat heavy systems are not satisfying because they don't let you do that. I like to be able to mix it up. I like there be enough diversity in what you can do in combat that it's not samey. If it's like, I hit the person, I hit the person, I hit the person, I hit the person, that feels really samey, and then I'm not as excited. And the thing is, there are some really combat heavy systems that are really samey and not very interesting. And some combat light systems that are very samey and therefore don't hold my interest as much. So, I just kind of want my combat to give me some interesting things. The coffee beans here are supplied by pirates. Oh. That's interesting. Exalted, where you can literally dance your way through combat, right? And that becomes, and like I've heard really good things about Exalted, and then also some bad things about Exalted. I've heard mixed things, but I'm interested in it. I feel like I should check it out. Somebody fierce came through town recently. They were looking for the Overseer song. Oh, but they didn't find it. Oh. Do you think that's all the backstory we're going to get from this person? When we're going to start repeating? Wow, so you're a really big backstory fan, huh? Yes. Oh, no more backstory. That's it. I got all the backstory. In Cyberpunk, you can fight like in John Woo movies. So let's say your base rating with a pistol is 15. So when you are at close range, you just succeed without even rolling, unless you get one. If there are anything happening, you would affect. Yeah. So like, I'm really interested in the different ways in which people decide to sort of do combat systems. And I'm pretty good with lots of different things. I just like it. I'd like it when my options are not, I hit them, and those are my options. Or I only have one set of options, like I rage and then I hit them. I like it if I can do maybe some other things besides just the one thing. And, and I also understand, however, that this also depends on whether we're talking about one-shots or campaigns. In a one-shot where you don't have a lot of time to learn the system, then maybe you don't need all those choices. Like, I think, for example, I mean, I want to play in this campaign. I like the idea, like it's a campaign, and I will tell you, I have run it before and it worked really well and I really liked it. I had a great time running it. The players had a good time playing in it. The only problem was that then I left because then I went to grad school. You know what I mean? And I left that group and then I couldn't. But I'm going to play a fencing grandmaster in the GURPS game and a low stat cleric of knowledge in the D&D game. Well, a fencing grandmaster in the GURPS game and a low stat cleric of knowledge in the D&D game. What do you mean? What do you mean, fencing grandmaster? You have to think about that. I want to be powerful in the real world and weak in the virtual one. Oh, I see. Krellin, I'm just not going to give you that many points, though. So, like, you'll never be that powerful in the real world because you won't have that many points with which to be powerful. You know. And I would give you, let me see, low stat. I don't know how you, I'll take blindness as my flaw. Also, we won't be using any of the cinematic rules, right? So, like, I would not be using any of the cinematic rules in the real world. So none of those would be there. No cinematic rules. Probably bleeding rules. Just noting it. Narjavi says, but with implants that get you over, well over 15, you can shoot with 2 pistols and run and cover to cover or dive, stuff like that, and you still have a great chance of hitting. Yeah, so that's like, sounds like they're going full on super cinematic. Super cinematic. I think actually terminal illness is the one you want. I hate being single. Why won't anyone date me? I don't know. I have lots of great dateable qualities. Like, for example, I once ate 20 hot dogs in an hour. Why do you keep talking to me? Do you want to date me? I don't know. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, really? Sure. Yeah. I'd say you're about 27 years old. Did I date you correctly? Oh. Oh, me. Oh, me. But you can die one shot with a simple line miller. Oh, interesting. Grandmaster Fincher trying to go out on their own terms. 75-point game. I know. This is the problem. That wasn't very nice. No. That wasn't nice at all. Lala, don't be a jerk. Ooh. So we are now checking out, we're going to have to check out this part of the town next. Oh, gosh. This town's got a lot to it. Here. Krellin, I'm with you there. I was like, Lala, that was rude. Don't do that. Don't do that, Lala. We all know that Lala's heart belongs to be Rainbow Goddess. That's true. That's true. That's true. Here, what we're going to do is we're going to... Ooh. No. Ooh. Yeah, it's good. It's good. We're going to come over here. Yes. Good. Yeah, sometimes it's very deadly, but combat is very involved. I haven't actually played it, but it seems very fun. Right, this is what I'm going over. So we talked about all these things. Yeah, so this D&D, non-D&D hybrid game is something I really want to play. I want to run it again. I haven't run it yet. And here's the thing. I feel like I'm a little sad that my move is July 1st. I'm happy about it in case Gen Con actually happens, but it kind of breaks up my summer a little bit in weird ways. But I am looking forward to running that campaign, and I'm hoping that I can run it soon because it's something I'm really excited about. Something I'm really excited about as a campaign concept, and I really love I love the idea of the interplay of the two persona and the interplay between those two, and I really like it, and I like the idea. So I think it would be... I'm going to have to read BRP and see what I think about it. I'm going to have to read the BRP and see what I think about it. To see if I want to go GURPS or BRP. I have to see. I have to see. There are also drugs that are just insane that can just destroy your character permanently. Yeah, I mean, I actually, Cabin Fever, Cyberpunk, right? Because this is Cyberpunk 2020, back in the day, old school. And I actually have 1994 Cabin Fever. Yes, and I have it. Because I actually have I have some of that on D, Downfall, Deadlands, Danger, Cyber here. This is where it should be. Because my games are alphabetized. They're alphabetical. Did they foresee the pandemic? They might. They might have. Yeah, and also, where's my G? Genesis, right there. What is this doing? Here. There you go. Yeah, so there are a bunch of things, and I'm hoping maybe, what's really interesting though? It's about jamming on your channel versus other channels, and there is a lot to ponder about what you jam on other channels and what you don't. There are some things that I would jam on other channels. This I wouldn't. This I would jam on my channel. This would be a thing that I would want to do on my channel, not on other channels, because this would be a thing that I would want to, that's a little bit more my IP, and I'd want to keep it on my channel, not some other channel. Because sometimes with other channels, you don't always know if they're going to actually upload the things to the internet properly or on time ever. There are some things that there's some things I've been in that I Super Duper never put on the internet. I think still hasn't been put on the internet. So right, and so I want to so some things I'd want to do on my channel, some things I would do on others. But I do want to run this one, and I'm excited to run it, and I think I will. I just don't know when yet. Probably this coming school year, so probably in a couple of months. Yeah, but so that's me. We're gonna call it for the evening. I'm Tripper SJP. This is the Academic Foxhole, and I want to thank you all for being here. Let me tell you where you can find me in the coming week. What's up next for me? Tomorrow, 1 p.m. at Tales from the Grim will be the series premiere of Aether's Walkway, which is a kind of a cyberpunky sci-fi game run by White Rabbit, and there might be a little bit of horror in there, so I'm kind of excited. And I'm playing an interesting character. And then tomorrow night at 7 is City of Light and Shadow. Rocket Fox is having a solo episode, and I'm excited to see how that goes. Saturday at 1 o'clock, you can find me at Roll For It with the second half, the closer of Captain's Table, a Good Society game. And then on Sunday at 1 p.m. Is that true? Am I telling you the truth? Yes. Sunday at 1 p.m. will be Seraphim Station, a Capers Offworld show that I'm in. And then at 4 p.m. on Sunday, I will be in The Tempest over on Rocket Fox's channel. So that's what I'm doing for this week. So yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 streams in the next 3 days. 5 streams in the next 3 days. It's gonna be a little intense, but it'll be fine. When am I going to house hunt? After this week. once this week is over, right, it will be, I will be only streaming Overlight on Wednesday, my stream on Thursday, or the other Good Society game, 2 games on Fridays, Saturday, and then the Mass Effect, the Seraphim Station, that is actually going to be done, because that's only 4 parts, so that's done really soon. That's only 4 episodes. And yeah, so not this week, next Thursday. So Table Story will be not next Thursday, but the Thursday after the 14th is when Table Story starts. So 2 Thursdays. And that's only going to be 4 episodes as well. So things are like, they're going to mellow themselves out. Basically, everything's going to be done July 1st, which is when I need to move. But I'm going to be house hunting. And look, I will note, I have been looking for houses on the down low, been looking to see what's around. I just need to start sending inquiries, and I will do that next week. Not this week, because this week I have to compose 2 banjo songs for The Tempest, and all of that. But next week, probably Monday, is when I will probably start. So that's it. I'm gonna need an assistant to manage my dance card. Yes, or handle my move. But I'm thinking Monday, because here's the thing: I'm not teaching anymore. I mean, I have not, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. I've got oral presentations, and then I've got grading. But the papers don't come in until the 8th, so I'm gonna have a little bit of time at the beginning of next week, and that's when I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fine. But let me tell you where you can find me. So you can find me. We have a Discord. You can join it if you haven't joined it. It's lovely. We talk. We're nice, and we're not too overburdened. And then you can also find me here. Of course, you can also find my YouTube, which is at Trooper SJP, which is currently the archive of all of these things. But if you missed anything, including all of my RPGs, I also have links to the RPGs I've done on other channels on my YouTube as well. So if you're like, oh, where can I find well, all the things that have been put up there. Where can I find XYZ? And I was like, if you want to find it, I'm linking to it, so you can find it there. I miss Banjo Day too, but I'm trying to get my banjo up, because I'm playing the banjo for the Tempest, so, and I'm gonna have to work that out, get my fingers back for Sunday. And I'm going to be working on my banjo probably Saturday. A little bit tonight as well, probably. And then Saturday, so it'll be good. And then you can also find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter, where I tweet randomly. And then also I have a Patreon, which is Academic Foxhole. And you can become a Patreon, and the Patreon is for my RPGs, so that the players, pay for the music and the overlays, and for the cast. And those are things you can do if you want to support. And that's it. That is my life. I'm going to eat food. That is it. Wait. Who got timed? Somebody got timed out. Hrothgar, hold on. Hrothgar, wait. Hrothgar, you're being timed out for 5 seconds, but come back with us. Hold on. Reg add Hrothgar Thorson. You are added. You can give us symbols. It's fine. Hrothgar just pointed Nightbot in the junk with pointy shoes. It happens. It does happen. You're back in, Hrothgar. All right, I'm going to find some food. I don't know what it is. I would love a sandwich. There's too many caps. It does sometimes happen. Happens sometimes. But look, I've got a lot going on. It's gonna be really amazing. My calendar should all be updated. I hope it's updated. Although I don't know if it does have the Tempest on it. Does it? Does it? We'll find out. Anyway, I'll just check. I think it should. And I will. Ooh, I like that. I like that 07. I'm gonna catch you all on the flip side. Y'all are great. I will see you tomorrow, perhaps for City of Light and Shadow, or for Aether's Walkway. I'm playing somebody interesting. Okay, I'm going. That's it. I'm out of here. Bye, everybody. Eat, hydrate, take care of yourselves. Bye.